Hey.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Alright, there was a slight echo there because I had my Trovo sound on, but it was still cool. We got Dewalt for scan today, guys. 9 games. $350 on the line. Every single game is worth an equal percentage of the total prize. The map pool is crazy, man. Crazy. What do you guys think is going to happen? Is Dewalt going to, excuse me for saying this, get his ass kicked?
He's actually beaten Scan before in weekly tournaments. So even though Scan is the overdog, anything can happen.
What tournaments has he been Scan in?
In several G's weekly tournaments last year.
Oh, that's cool. Big shout out to Russ Brain, who runs that. He's also helped sponsored this Thelio Showmatch series. And Dewalt is your teammate. You're both in IRK. MasterRey, what do you think?
That will be interesting. Well, I think we have to give the favorite role to Scan. But yeah, Dewalt is definitely on a level that he can take games of good Korean players, and yeah, I'm happy to see 9 awesome matches. And well, if I would predict, I would say something like 6-3 for Scan, maybe 7-2, maybe 7-2 or 6-3. That would be my prediction. What do you think, Voddy?
I think he probably favors Scan as well. I don't know in that ratio. Yeah, that's a pretty good prediction, I think. And taking like 2 or 3 games off Scan, especially when a lot of money is on the line, isn't easy, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Scan's gone really good. Or maybe he's always been this good since I came back in about July.
Does anyone remember a time during which Scan wasn't good? Honestly. Anyone?
And
I
Voddy,
don't.
you've been around consistently for a while, right?
Dude, as far... Like, when I started playing, I think... Well, I don't know about that, but... He was probably good at that point. People didn't know about it, but... Like, in 2010, he was already really good. 2011, he was good, and he's been good ever since. And getting better.
Big compliments coming from a Terran player. Voddy, I'm really glad that we caught you today, man. I've been trying to get high S-rank players to co-cast events, just because I think it's fun. Gives it a community fun feel, and gives different people a chance to cast games. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining Kwark and MasterRey today.
Alright, well, I don't know about high S-rank. I mean, my peak was at 2400, which is like mid to low. But S-rank, yes, that is me.
You're a solid Terran player, man. Good manner, reliable, in IRK. Need I sing your praise more? Thanks for joining us, guys. We will be starting soon.
I will put some advertisement in different Discords. I don't see any announcements yet.
I think I did spam a few Discords. We kind of try to fit today's event in right before BSL, though it's probably not the best timing. I think the organizers were okay with that, though. There is another cast of this. I believe it's in Russian. Big shout out to Silver, who's part of the Esport Fund organization. And those guys have sponsored a bunch of show matches with Leo.
You know, there was a time when the only non-Korean StarCraft was a bunch of Russians. Like, there was this website, it still exists, called defiler.ru. And every time you wanted to play in any tournament, every time, like 50% of the time you would turn into a cast, it would be some Russian commentating. It's referred to as the SOSPA era these days, because of Sonic. And Sonic made something called SOSPA, kind of like Kespa. Anyway,
What year was this? Definitely
was
when I
like-
was inactive.
Like 2010 to 2000,
Yeah.
what, something, 2014, maybe?
It's kind of like the Dark Age. It's right before and right after StarCraft 2 kind of came out.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So before Remastered, after StarCraft 2. Now,
That's
you could
cool.
call it a Dark Age, but this age was hype af, dude. It was like... It was
Yeah,
kind
I
of
see
like
what you
people
mean.
meeting around in basements, just like smashing each other for the love of fighting, you know, like bloody noses. That was the feeling. Very
That's
Russian.
cool, man. So they held down the scene. And still
And
do
Scan
in some
destroyed
ways.
during this era.
Yeah, I came across a Liquipedia article that talked about a Ziki and Scan feud. And I
Yes.
thought it was the weirdest thing coming back to Brood War, you know, in 2020, and knowing what I know about these guys and their skill levels. But that was a different era, I guess.
Yeah, so Shiki is pretty good right now, right? He's a good player.
Yeah.
But he was even better then when he played even more. He was definitely the best Forerunner, and he even beat some Koreans, which was unheard of at the time. Like, the skill gap was closed a little bit. We have Dewalt actually beating Koreans in events, like Shine, Scan, who else has he beaten? I can't think of anyone right now. He's beaten some Terran too. Anyway, he's beaten Shine, who made it top 8 in OSL, which is insane, and he's beaten Scan. But back then, beating an actual Korean was unheard of, and Siki actually did it once. Now, to be fair, it was a retired Korean who had been a coach, like, not even a player for a very long time, but still,
Right.
it was still epic. You
That's
can look
cool.
up Dr. K versus Siki if you want to see that.
You mean the VOD is on?
Yeah,
Live?
it's on YouTube. It's casted by Sale, and Sale, oh, by the way, he was the commentator of this era. He was like the face for
Yeah.
Brood War, or the voice, I should say, for Brood War.
Okay, guys, it's a little early in North America, so Kwark might be joining us in a little bit here. We'll get into the games in a few minutes. Dewalt vs. Scan. Not sure how that's gonna go, but $350 on the line. Classic G's Weekly 2021 map pool. Do you know what maps are being played? MasterRey or Voddy?
We have some very great old school maps. I saw we have Luna, we have Taucross, we have Reverse Temple, I think, Longinus. I'm not quite sure about every single map, but you can probably tell us.
Oh, there it is. So I included in the bot spam. Destination, Taucross, Reverse Temple, Fighting Spirit, Luna the Final, Blue Storm, Python, Longinus, Match Point.
So pretty standard, except for Luna. That's the one that stands out the most. But I have to say,
Is
Luna
that right?
favors Dewalt here for two reasons. One, like, have you seen this map? Like, have you tried?
I was
To
actually
theorize.
active when it was still being played somewhat.
Yeah.
It's kind of the last period that I was active, but that
So
was...
do you remember how impossible it is to place a turret ring around your base? Depending on where you spawn, it can be better or worse. But some of these spawns, like, what is it, like, bottom right is a really bad one. Bottom left isn't that bad, but bottom right and bottom, I mean top right and bottom right are just really bad for building turrets against shuttles. And these days, when people like to go mass speed shuttles, that's going to be really strong. Then the third base is hard to take. You can't turret crawl to it; it's far away, and it doesn't even give you a gas. However, having said that, vulture harassment is insane on Luna.
So you've seen Luna be played on given the current like meta and build orders and stuff.
I've played on it because there was a tournament, like a minor tournament that I won that had Luna in the map. It's insane. Like speedlings are way better than they're supposed to be normally. Vultures are also better, and shuttles are better. You can barely forge expand versus Zerg. Like honestly, you might just want to go some other build. And like one Rax expand, if he goes 9 pool speed, you just die. You can never take your expansion. Or any sort of Zergling speeding all in.
Alright guys, let's get into the games. The first match will be on Destination.
Alright, TQ. I'm coming.
Come on, Kwark, wake up. Get off work. Stop
now,
babysitting.
I don't know if I should...
whatever you're doing. Get your
don't
ass...
know if I should ask this on air, but what's the password? You might...
Oh, it's TQ.
Okay.
No problem
And
at all.
before we get raided. So
Yeah,
this
and,
map...
I'm also interested because many of these maps back then were not done by the most current map making tools, and for example, the symmetry is not perfect. You just mentioned on Luna that the positions are vastly different, so that will be something to look at as well. Maybe they adjust a little bit depending on where they spawn and so on.
Yeah, that was the true Dark Age for sure. People used the built-in editor that Blizzard doesn't even ship with the game anymore. There were only 2 ramps, so it was impossible to make symmetrical maps. Starting off on Destination, which isn't that uncivilized.
Here we go.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into this. We see in the top position our Protoss player trying to it's a flag for foreign brood war. It is Dewalt, and in the bottom we have our Korean Terran recently qualifying for ASL, playing in this ASL. It is Gen.
Dude, imagine the hype if Dewalt even takes 1 game. He has done it before. He's great, but even just 1 game would be sick.
This is recently played, guys.
Now that you say that, Voddy, earlier I predicted around 7-2 or 6-3 score for Scan. Now you say it would be crazy if Dewalt takes even 1 game. So what is your prediction for the whole show match?
Well, I'm not a gambling man. I will say, of course, it favors Scan, but Dewalt has done it before. He can't do it again. He's an underdog, but it's not, you know, David versus Goliath. It's more like Rocky versus Apollo or something like that. But prediction, if I had to predict, and my life were on the line, I suppose I would say maybe Dewalt takes two games. I would say.
Yeah, I think so as well. Okay, so let's see how the opening is going to play out here. We have a gas for Scan, so pretty normal Rex gas. Oh, actually, yeah, never mind. And normal gateway and gas for Dewalt as well, so no crazy stuff here.
Now this probe, it arrived too late to really do any serious damage, like a gas theft or anything. But still early enough that, you know, it is an economic pain to send it out this early. So I'm not sure about this probe timing already. Doesn't really accomplish much, you know? Sending it out like this.
Yeah, that's true. So let's talk a little bit about the map here while we are still in the opening phase of this game. What do you think about taking a third base as a Terran on Destination?
Well, you have two choices. Obviously, you can go to the right, which is a bit easier because you can cover the bridge from the high ground somewhat. Or you can go to the left, which is harder, but you get a mineral only as well, so you can click from 4 bases. And I've actually seen players flash in World Cyber Games, the last Stark Brood War World Cyber Games. He went for the mineral only first because of what happened in the game, so that is also an option if you really know what you're doing on this map. It's not, you can't rush a third. No matter which one you take, it is going to be a challenge to get. And we can also see that the main is so open. Shuttles become better, recalls become better.
Yeah.
And we don't really know which race this map favors today, but in the past, a lot of people thought it favored Terran because you can split the map on turtle. But statistically, it actually slightly favored Protoss at around 55%. But that was back in, like, you know, during the Kespa era, so we don't really know if that applies today.
I think Dewalt is liking his shuttle and unit-heavy play against the third base attempt by the Terran, so we might see that. It's pretty strong on this map that he tries to jump on the Terran army when Scan moves out to take the third base. But yeah, if it comes to a very late game, I also think it can be hard for Protoss if he's not already ahead from the early game.
Yeah, if Terran gets to a 5th base on this map, and Protoss doesn't have some sort of advantage with so many recalls, I mean, arbiters that they can force a recall, or carriers, then generally it's good for Terran. But the style you mentioned of mass units and shuttles, it is indeed very good on this map, because when a Terran moves out to take a third, you can attack. And if he moves everything there, you can just drop in the main, and if he leaves too much in the main, you can just drop on the front. It's very strong.
I also think if the Terran expands to the left here, he's very spread out from the left to the right, so the shuttles will become even stronger. But if he expands to the right, he's kind of covers his main base as well a little bit if he builds some turrets.
Yeah, he has less airspace to cover, that's true.
Good morning.
Hey, Kwark!
Hello, Kwark.
Thanks for joining us.
Right now. Did it start early or was I late?
You're here
yeah,
for the first game, my friend.
Great. Destination.
So we have a Vulture first and Mines on the way for Scan. Pretty good opening on this map. You can delay Protoss expansions. Or, if he goes Fast Observer, you know you're safe against Reaver for a while. So no matter what Protoss does, you accomplish something, you know?
I also realized that Scan, despite having a slightly earlier command center than the natural completed, he is actually behind 4 workers here. So did he intentionally cut some workers, some SCVs, to get that? To get his vultures out earlier or so?
Well, he had to make a bunker to be safe. It's just Terran is always going to be behind in supply and in SCVs compared to Protoss in the early and mid game. It's just how Terran is, because every time you build a structure, you're not mining. And the way the build order works out is, like, you have to cut SCVs a little bit. You have to cut something, essentially. You can't get everything. Protoss is a more economic race early on.
Does Scan have enough to do this? Because he looks like he's trying to take a defensive position with a floating eBay and a tank behind Wolf's middle line, but I don't know if he has enough units.
Well,
I feel like Dewalt will just cut this off and he can wipe it out, surely.
If Dewalt were going for a shuttle, Scan would be in trouble, but Scan is kind of metagaming it here. Dewalt is going for 3-gate Observer, and there's no shuttle on the way, there's no Reaper on the way. This is actually going to be a huge problem for Dewalt.
I mean, he has so many goons. There's some mines, but the mines aren't going to do anything because there's an observer.
There is an observer, that's true. So he's coming in here. There are 2 tanks only versus 6 trillions.
I feel like he's just going to lose his tanks for nothing.
Well, if he had saved all of the mines, actually he's out of mines with vultures, yeah, true. If he had saved them and put them up here, that would have been great. And probably he should have made a bunker before making a turret too. That would have been great. But I guess you're right and I'm wrong, because he is just going to crush this Dewalt.
Yeah, I mean, this was a very aggressive position to take on one factory. I was just looking at this thinking, well, this is a fantastic position in terms of him being able to trade efficiently, but he doesn't have the numbers.
He actually, I think he had what he needed to, because he was allowed to walk in there for free, but he placed the mines not there. He placed them just all around the map and they got picked off, and he made a turret before making a bunker. Had he placed, imagine 6 mines up here and a bunker by the time the Bruins come in, that would have been a different story for sure.
Now we're seeing there's a 10 worker advantage for Dewalt. Scan cut workers to do that, as you were saying. He's was on one factory and lost all the factory units. You're going to lose his eBay, had to replace that. I feel like Dewalt has turned this into a pretty big lead.
Dewalt lost heavy lead. Scan is forced to go for 4 factories before even taking a third, +1 on starport, and Dewalt is free to just expand and do whatever
Dewalt's
he
going
wants.
carriers.
Ah, nice. Okay, that's a pretty good way to capitalize on an advantage, especially when you know your opponent won't have scans for a while.
Yeah, so we're seeing 4 factory and starport. Do we think there's going to be science facility in 2-1, or do we think this is going to be just an early push? Because this seemed like half of one, half of the other.
I think this is just okay. He's getting a science facility right now for +2, but this is like what Terran does when you're behind. Essentially, like you can't really push, you can't really expand. So the only thing you can do that gives you any value in the long term is upgrades. But it's a bit of a losing proposition. It's
Well, there's no second armory,
compensation-wise.
so this looks like he's rushing his +2 upgrade, but he's
Yes.
not. To me, I like to see a bunch of factories or 2 armories. It's unusual that I see 4 factories, a science facility, and also only the 1 armor. It's
Well, he's probably thinking.
okay. That's the second armory. Okay.
Okay, there we go. All right. So it is going to be 2-1. But oh, dude, he's so far behind.
Oh, he
Look at
scans
this
the
fly.
carriers. Okay, now
Oh,
he
he
knows
does.
what his timing is. That's a fantastic scan, because if he waited, if he went for like a late 2-1, those carriers were going to be done. Now he knows that Dewalt's got the carriers on their way. He knows the timing he needs to hit.
Yeah. But the thing is, these carriers are really fast, but it's impossible to punish. Like, he can't go out and kill the enemy with a 2-base push, right? It's just not going to work. There are too many units. If he tries to do that, he'll just die to Zealot Dragoon.
No.
So what do you do in this situation? You have to play a macro game against carriers, which is fine unless you start out from behind. Then it's not so fine. But we see some Vulture harassment in the natural.
Yeah, this is going to do way more than it should. There's
Getting
no
one,
pylon.
two.
Okay, there's the pylon. He has one.
Yeah. So decent harassment. More vultures coming out of the natural right now. An observer spots them. Dewalt is moving to intercept with dragoons at the 3rd.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Scan's just gonna go for it. 2 probes so far.
But
Only
now
gets
they're
2
trapped.
probes and loses
there's-
all of these vultures eventually. So this is actually great for Dewalt. It really is. Like, imagine losing, okay, 3 probes now, because he's harassing a bit more than natural. 4 probes? 4 probes for about 6 vultures. When you're up a Nexus, definitely worth it.
Yeah, Scans evened up the worker count though, because before Dewalt was up something like 8 workers on a much lower worker count. Now it's 54 to 49. That's something at least.
That
I've
he
checked
is.
the worker count the whole time, and Dewalt actually cut a lot of probes. He didn't produce all of his 3 Nexus all the time. So, yeah, the worker count. I mean, now he's producing again, but it definitely is more similar now.
But when you're trading vultures for probes, and the follow-up, as we can see, is a 2-base 7 fact 2-1 all-in, is it even good to do that? You know, or aren't you trying to do like a timing attack? Isn't this an anti-synergy where you're, you know, essentially trading? Although it looks like he might be going for a 3rd base, which would make more sense with what he's going for. Because if you're trading vultures for probes, when you're going for a timing attack, you're just making your timing attack weaker.
Yeah, I agree
Exactly.
entirely.
We saw that yesterday with Dandy. He made the same mistake. He tried to do economic damage, but then also tried to fight the army, so you can't do both at the same time.
So Dewalt is backing out of carriers. He's making he's got 2. He's making just 1 more out of his 2 Stargates and doing Zealot legs on the way. So he's trying to force a bunch of Goliaths and then go back into ground.
And this is a pretty huge push. 2-1 is not done yet, but this is... There are only 2 carriers. This is dangerous. Walt has to respect this attack.
I'm worried about that shuttle. If Scan sees the shuttle coming in, those Goliaths are going to just one-shot it.
The thing is, the carriers don't have so many interceptors yet, so they're
Yeah,
not doing the damage, but
Dewalt's
he's
trying to
losing
beat this on the
interceptors
ground.
with fighting.
Dewalt's trying to fight this with ground army. Zealot legs is 99% done. Zealot legs is done.
He really needed to delay this way more. He needed to be outside of the 2 bridges.
Yeah, forcing
to
sieges
Scan's
and
natural, exactly, to buy more time, but he bought
Okay,
no
there
time.
goes the shuttle. Shuttle just gets volleyed.
One carrier is going down. Goliaths. One carrier goes down. GG.
Yeah, and those tanks
Wow.
just not drawing the tank fire with these. I don't like fast carries. I never have. I feel like no matter how far ahead you are, Terran can always do that to you.
Well, I mean, I think it would have been a different story had he harassed the army at the 2 bridges. He could have bought so much time. He could have bought time for 2 gateway runs of units. Seriously, he could have. And then he would have had a much better chance.
You saw that he started going carriers, but he didn't. He correctly identified that carriers weren't actually going to be able to win in the game simply because they're weak.
Yeah, right.
Early, you need.
Yeah, they are. They are. Well, the point of the carrier is actually to force the Terran to attack you, and then you smash the attack.
Yeah,
but that means you have to smash the attack.
But
you know?
you want to put the Terran on a clock after you already have like 10 gateways and all your upgrades, so you can fight them on the ground before you do the carry transit. I think naked carries is weak, and I always have believed that. I think you use arbiters, use storm, you bridge to carriers.
You can do that, but I mean, people do go Stellar Dragoon to carrier, especially when you're ahead. It can work. You just have to.
I know people do it. They do it and then they lose.
I mean, I don't know. I people win with it. You know, it happens. To be honest, I don't have a source for that, but I've seen it happen. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so the second map is Tau Cross, guys.
All right, so MasterRey only one observer. Are we doing this? Okay,
I
I'll leave
believe
if it lags.
so.
Okay.
I will leave.
Okay. All right.
Have our highest rank caster in the replay.
I don't know. I think Kwark might be above me right now. I haven't played for a while. Anyway. But yeah, so to recap, essentially, the carriers just force the Terran to attack you. Either that, or you win later on. And then you have to be ready for the attack. You have to harass him, you have to buy time, counterattack, cut off reinforcements, etc. Like, Bonnet does that a lot. He did that against, well, I don't even know. Like, a lot of games.
Everyone's
like, half of his games.
Once.
Yeah. But anyway, Tower Cross. This map was known back in the day, when it was active in Kespa, as the most balanced map of all time, because it had like 50% in every matchup. But that was then, this is now. What do you think about this map these days?
I think that it's very vulnerable to drop play. It's got giant mains, and there's I think ledges behind the naturals that you can drop tanks on.
Yeah, so obviously shuttles are going to be amazing. Good luck making a turret ring on this map. And also vulture drops are going to be okay because of the big mains. And like you said, a tank, if there's not a shuttle from the Protoss, can be okay over the natural.
Yeah, drop play will be very strong for both races, for both players. But also we have a little bit of the same situation compared to Destination, that I think it's hard for a Terran to take a third base. It's a bit closer, but the area in front of the natural is very open.
It's open, so you're going to have to deal with it. You can't do like a fighting spirit thing where you wall off, essentially, and you survive despite not having anything. You're going to have a lot of units to survive, but at least it's close. So you could turret crawl to it, you could rush it, as long as you have enough units. It's not like Destination.
Like any free-player map, it can be decided by the other main. If one player controls 2 mains, then the game can't ever go long. One player will just have much more money and will always win.
Yeah, that's an easy win condition for Protoss. You take the new main when the Terran can't do anything about it, and you just survive and you win eventually. But the way Terran wins, say this game goes on for like an hour, how is Terran supposed to win when the other race gets the main? Well, you can actually, and it has actually happened, take the new main as Terran, slowly. You prevent Protoss from having it, and you eventually take it yourself. It's pretty crazy, but it happens.
You got to deny it as Terran. And Protoss, you got to take it if you want to win. So the bases on this map, the expansion of this map are pretty hard to do pylon walls on. Because this map, I think, predates back when, or predates the era when Vulture Harass and pylon walls were standard.
Well, you can do it on your natural. On your third, not so much.
Yeah, the third I was worried about. Because I think most modern maps, you can put that on like 4 or 5 pylons to your natural, or your third base and cut off vultures. But good luck doing it on here.
Well, people are already doing it. When is this map from? 2006, right?
Yeah.
Because people are, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Because people were doing it on Python in 2007. But, yeah, you really literally can't do it. It's not like people were stupid back then, it's just that you literally could not do it on the map. That's why people didn't do it.
Some people were stupid.
And also, it's the vultures weren't being used as aggressively. I think the style where you make the vultures intending to trade them away constantly while you build up the tank count hadn't yet been developed. The idea that you want to be losing units constantly as Terran because you're losing the mineral units, replacing them with gas units, I don't think was properly in the metagame.
Now, that concept was not, well, using gas in general was not as refined of a concept. So people would often float gas because they had to just make vultures to survive. Whereas now, of course, Terrans are starved for gas versus Protoss. They're spending all their gas on tanks, upgrades, etc. And of course, trading vultures, because you have more mineral income than you have gas, so you just keep trading vultures while you build up the gas count.
So it being a flat map, do we think that bunker's exposed? I mean, it's pretty far from the minerals. He can maybe pounce on it.
Yeah, I don't think Scan is going to die to something like that. He should, especially now with this SCV coming in, he's going to see the Nexus. So usually what happens if you're going to die to that is that you don't know that there's an expansion. You assume there is, and then 2-gate Dragoons show up. But he knows that there's an expansion now. So he should know the amount of Dragoons that could be coming at him. He's not going to see the robot, though.
Yeah.
Loses the SCV. We got 2 factories
Also,
coming up.
The expansion of Scan is already mining, so he has a pretty short distance to pull SCVs to the bunker and repair. So I don't think that's an option here for Dewalt.
Yeah, he would have to go 2-gate and hide it or something. And he hasn't.
Yeah.
And even that Scan would most likely survive too. Anyway, we do have 2 factories, which suggests, I think, some sort of fast, 2-tank vulture rally or something like that. Because he's not getting an eBay, Academy, or Armory.
Why does Scan unload his Marines and load them back in the bunker?
He's trying to.
Good fire.
Yeah, so then he doesn't have to repair as much in the bunker. Because the Dragoon would shoot at the Marine instead, and then you go into the bunker before the shot reaches the Marine.
Yeah, Dewalt just right-clicked on the bunker at this point. Dewalt's done with Scan shenanigans, which is why Scan then jumps out and he starts shooting them.
He got a Dragoon down to half health, though.
It's an interesting
It's 3
metagame.
goons versus 2 SCVs, by the way. Oh, that
Oof,
one goon,
ouch.
no.
So look at the health on these goons. One is half health, one is like 70%. Damn, that's crazy.
This is a really interesting metagame. Oh, sorry, just meta contest where Scan's forcing him to attack the bunker manually and then taking 3 shots at him.
Dude, we have 3 yellow Dragoons to a bunker and 4 Marines. And some SCVs. Here comes the tank. Can we get a red one? No.
Oh.
Alright.
Focusing the one without the shields, very nice.
Yes. But the next stage is going to be the Reaver, because we do see a support bay in the Protoss main. And the Reaver can be a problem when you're going for this 2 or 3 tank vulture rally, which we're seeing. The Reaver can come counterattack you just as you're moving out. It can be a problem. And we don't see any anti-air right now for the Terran. We have an eBay halfway done. That's it.
And of course shuttle speed, which on this map is going to be fantastic.
Right.
Also, Dewalt loves the later on the transition to 2-speed shuttle just running into or flying into their base.
But here comes the big push, though.
Very effective.
It looks like he's going to have to use the Reaver to defend, because this is a scary army right here. And there has been no harassment, just like last game. There's been no harassment.
He's flying the
army.
Reaver straight to the front line. He knows he's defending with this. That was always the plan.
He knows, yeah. So instead of trying to harass the army with Dragoons when you counterattack, he just wants to crush it right here, which he will. His army is superior.
Yeah, it's a very nice hit with the first scab on the Marines. Just making sure that the Marines don't soak the Dragoon damage.
Yeah, and there are no vultures left. He focused the vultures too with the Reaver.
Yeah.
So, no
Oh,
mines
picks
going
up a
down.
tank. Nice. Dewalt has held this so easily. This is a fantastic hold.
Right. Now this has bought time for Scan to put turrets up. But he didn't do it during the battle, because obviously, you can't do everything at once. So this Reaver could still get massive damage done. It could still happen, and he's taking a third behind it.
And speed's 90% down. Speed's kicking in as we speak.
Yeah, there are 0 tanks, because it was rallying vultures, and not a complete turret ring, so this is very dangerous.
His decision on what to target with the scabs was fantastic, because I can't hype this enough, but the Marines and the vultures soak so much Dragoon damage.
Yeah.
Because the Dragoons aren't firing at the tanks, but if you just If you kill 3 Marines with a scab, that's effectively 12 Dragoon shots that you saved.
Yeah, and if you destroy a Vulture and a mine, like he did with one Scarab, that's also a bunch of Dragoon shots. And the tanks can't do anything without support. They need the mines and the Marines and the Vultures to tank, and he just took that out with Splash. We got this tank caught outside, can't even enter the base. He's just going for the front. He's not even going into the back because there are no tanks. The bunker is down.
And behind this, he's got total map control. There's not even a single mine, not a single unit on the map for scan. He's got his third base up. This is
2 tanks only. That's all he has. Versus 3 Dragoons and a Reaver.
This is dominating show by Dewalt.
Is he gonna go for the tank? No, he goes for the SCVs. Pretty good Scarab. So he didn't try to go for the knockout move, which he could have. I mean, both were viable options. Going for SCVs and going for the tanks were both viable options, but he still did massive economic damage, and he gets even more.
He's got this is such a nice loose contain with the Reaver. Now the Reaver's down, he's loose containers off, and the Vultures are immediately back on the map. Scan knows that he can't give Dewalt total map control. Just a few Vultures on the map, just to keep Dewalt busy, is so important here for Scan.
So 2 Vultures are out, and this third base, of course, is a bit exposed. So instead of attacking again, he might actually force Dewalt to defend here, which Dewalt is doing.
Yeah, he's forcing him back with just 2 Vultures, and it's so important that he has something on the map. Because as a Protoss, it's so easy if there's no mines, there's no Vultures, all you're doing is putting the pressure on. But Dewalt with the double speed shuttle, and this is what he likes to do. He's got 2 Reavers, or 1 Reaver, second Reaver's about to finish. I don't like this tank push from Scan. Oh, no, not like this, Dewalt, not like this.
Whoa, massive Ultra Run by.
They just walk in, the Goons were nearby and just not paying attention.
Yeah, he wasn't blocking. You need to always be blocking that.
And then the second Goon, it's not in the choke. This is exactly what Scan needs to get back in this game.
Yeah, it is. It certainly is. But here comes the shuttle attack in the main of the Terran. So both players really hitting each other right now. One big Scarab goes off, gets about 5 SCVs. Another one, another SCV.
Oh, and he's immediately clearing his way out with the Zealot on the turret as well.
Well, he was, but this SCV actually is keeping it alive. Is it? No, okay, the turret goes down. So he has an escape path now.
Yeah, this is something that Dewalt always does when he does his double shuttle drops. He makes sure that there's a path out.
Yeah, you basically, as the Terran, you really want to make sure that when the Protoss does this, he loses the shuttles. If he doesn't, it's way too strong. He can just do it again and again.
That drop did, I think, way less than Scan to run by though. Scan run by killed maybe 12 workers and like 5 Dragoons. It was ridiculous.
I agree.
They just ran straight into the minefield.
Yeah, the Vulture run by was better than the drop.
Still, 3 bases for Dewalt and worker lead. I mean, Dewalt's in a dominating position. That the Reaver defense against the first push and then the punish afterwards was so much damage. Are those Dragoons pin? They're waiting on Observer. Observer's about to go free them up. Okay.
So here comes the +1, what is it, +1/6 fact from Scan.
He needs those Dragoons from the back of his base. But
yeah, he really needs them, I agree.
What are
They're
they
just standing there.
Has he forgotten them? I thought he was waiting for an Observer to show them the way out, but they stopped moving.
He needs literally everything. Yesterday, he needed
they're even on supply if you ignore the workers.
Right. But given those units there, I mean, he's probably going to die to this push. So Scan with another 2-base push. After, you know, a shaky early game, he just kills him with the 2-base push again.
Reaver
Yeah,
drop,
he's
but
forgotten
that
them.
help him if Dewalt is just dying it.
He's got units and he's dying. Okay, he's dead. This was sad.
That's it.
I mean, he was so far ahead.
Before the Vulture run by, yes. After the Vulture run by, a little bit.
A little bit only, yeah. Not even that much. Like the push
But the
really...
Vulture run by, he had 2 Goons and he had a wall next to the 2 Goons. It was...
I mean, yeah. I know. It happens.
But it's something that you can't... As Protoss, you are so fragile. You cannot let that happen. You let it happen once, the game's done.
Yeah. The game certainly can end if you make that mistake. And it did. Well, it didn't end, actually. He could still have won after that, but it was massive.
And even after they got into the natural, he had a Goon that was coming out from a gateway that ran through the choke at between his main and natural and didn't block it. Like, he could have still salvaged it, but it didn't. Vultures that's just so strong.
So, Voddy, what do you think about how easy it is for some 75 mineral units to win a game?
Well, I was thinking about that actually. I think every race has things that are easier for that race than the enemy to deal with, and the Vulture is Terrans, for sure. It is easier to use the Vulture than to play against the Vulture, just as it is easier to do a recall than to defend against a recall.
As a Protoss, you're like designing your entire base around limiting Vulture movement, and like your rally points are set up so that you can close the door. You have like often a probe just sitting by the door, waiting with like observers or other units just out there to give you early warning, so that you can build the pylon in the wall the moment you see something. It's on your mind constantly, and it has to be. You have to play terrified of the Vulture, because if you don't respect it, you just lose.
It's just like how Terran has to play against recalls. You know it's coming. Well, maybe not these days when people don't go arbiters, but if the opponent goes for arbiters, you know the threat is always there. Like, you have to place mines to get map hacked. You have to, place every structure in your base, knowing that you might have to go into your main, etc. It just, even from the beginning, the very first depot you place, you're already thinking, how am I going to deal with recalls when you place your first build?
Guys, the next map is Reverse Temple.
Yeah, which race is this map good for? Seems pretty Terran favored, I guess. I'm not sure.
I remember this being the Bisu era, so it's hard to tell because Bisu was like dominating Zergs back then.
Yeah, who knows? Which race it favors today. It's pretty hard to tell. Obviously, as is the case with many of the maps from this era, shuttles are amazing and recalls are amazing because of the main being so open. But the third base, it's pretty comfortable. Like, if you get split map on this map, it's not a lot of room to maneuver for the Protoss.
Okay, cross map. I think that's going to make it slightly easier for Dewalt, just because I feel like these older maps were good for Terran to do short pushes.
Yeah, cross map, it's pretty much always good for Protoss, especially back in the day. In fact, people used to say that Protoss versus Terran is an even matchup, except if it's cross map, then it's Protoss favored. That was actually what people said back in the day. But what's good for Terran here, despite it being cross map, is that the third base is so close. Like, do you see how close the third base is? You can literally siege third base from your natural. So that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, or the high ground, or I guess low ground, because Reverse Temple can cover both. So if he can take a position with dropships, or even just floating a factory, he can contain the choke. He can and knock out the second and the third expansion from that one location.
I love how you guys are all old enough to remember this map.
I wasn't very good back when this was being played, but I was following the post scene.
But you
I
still
was a little
remember
kid.
it. You were around.
Well, I mean, it's partially, at least for me.
Dewalt's fast expanding. Dewalt is going for 12 Nexus, or 13 Nexus.
Nice. Yeah, it's good to throw that in every once in a while.
He is queued up enough probes. And cross position means he's going to be immediately rewarded for this. Now,
Yep.
this isn't sort of an metagamey choice of the map, I think, because on low ground main maps, it's very common to try and do like a Zealot into Goon opening just to try and dominate their high ground.
Yeah.
And he's actually, I think Dewalt is deliberately doing the inverse of that.
Yeah,
He
that's
says,
the
okay,
mix-up. Yeah.
Yeah, you're expecting me to try and dominate your choke and take your ramp from you. So instead, I'm just going to take the quickest possible Nexus.
Yeah, from a perspective of more than one game, there is no solution to the mix-up of going Proxy Zealots or 12 Nexus on a map like this. It's just good, it's just a mix-up that, it's a 50-50,
And Scan is going for the gasless. This is a big build order advantage for Dewalt, because Dewalt's not even doing a safe fast expand. Dewalt is doing a greedy fast expand.
Right. Scan is actually... Sorry, go on.
So the difference between the safe and the greedy one is the second pylon. If you use the Nexus as your second pylon, then you are being greedy. But what Dewalt's doing is he's just going to make 17 probes, build an extra pylon. He's going to his economy is going to be massive, but at the same time, he's going to have no zealots, no second gateway.
Right. But luckily for him, Scan is going a very unsafe build order against Zealots, so it seems like Scan predicted the Nexus first, but perhaps not the greedy X's first.
Yeah. There's no situation where Protoss does this opening where they're not ahead, in my opinion. Even against like a 13 CC. This opening that Dewalt's doing is so greedy. 0 Zealot straight into core.
Yeah, so you essentially have
Now
to
he
punch
adds
with
one.
aggression. Yeah.
Yeah. It's... Oh, and Scan is going for the close between scouts. He scouts 12, then 6. Oh, this is all going wrong for him.
Yeah,
And
because
the
he wouldn't
Broken
want to
going
make the
in.
bunker normally this early. He wouldn't.
No, and now he's going to add a third Marine, and he's going to find out afterwards that his opponent is going to hit a really good Dragoon range timing and also has 2 bases.
Okay, so once again, even in the third game of the Showmatch here, we see Dewalt taking little advantage in the early game, but the other 2 games ended by a 2-base push of Scan, so I hope this time Dewalt can actually prepare against that.
Yeah, and you can really see the potential in Dewalt in that he keeps getting ahead by making good choices. I mean, here he just got to be able to win, I guess, but the other games he really did like good tactical maneuvers. And he got ahead, but then Scan still beat him with better fundamentals.
Okay, Robo before range, and he's going to deny the SCV scout. Oh, this
Robo
is...
before range, it's crazy.
Yeah. He kills an SCV with his Zealot. Who does that? And against a pro gamer. Okay, so Scan has no idea that this is like the quickest possible Robo after a fast exam.
Yeah, this is insane actually. This speed of this Robo.
This is such a greedy build.
Dude, look, the factory isn't even done, and the Robo is like halfway done.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And I mean, this Dragoon range isn't even going to seem late, because if Dewalt did a safe fast expand, this Dragoon range is when it would be. He's actually managed to slip in an entire robotics facility.
Yeah. So Scan, you can see, he knows that he can't play safe. There's no such thing as playing safe now. He has to take a risk. So he's just rooting out Dark Templar immediately, which he would die to, straight up. And going for 3 factories instead.
Yeah, Dewalt sees the Vax flashing. That is such a... Like, that big flashing light is a big flashing light as a Protoss. You see the blinking, you're like, okay, that's a warning.
It means you're going to get attacked later by a Vulture Rally, yeah.
Like, it is literally a flashing light on the screen going, warning, Marines. But his Viva's going to be so quick, it's going to be fine. He's actually taken his probes off the second gas. He used the second gas to get Robo and range at the same time, and then he puts his probes back on middle and starts adding gates. I love this so much.
However, he actually went Observatory first. He's actually rushing Observer.
No, he went shuttle observatory. This is how you maximize robotics uptime, because you need to build something immediately.
Oh, yeah, right.
But you also want the observer, so you go shuttle while the observatory is building, then you knock out a quick observer, and then you go straight back into support bay.
Yeah, he's taking the island expansion, which is very strong on this map. That's very good for Protoss. It's much better for Protoss.
He's getting 3-fac pushed. I don't know. I mean, I like it until the 3-fac push hits. Okay, that's the support bay. He's going to observer Viva. This Viva's going to be so good defensively. We saw that on Tower Cross. There's no probe outside of Scan space. Who's going to tell you that Scan's pushing Dewalt?
Yeah, you really should normally have a probe there to see it coming. That's standard. He's not doing it right now, though. But, you know, it's always good to harass the Terran army as it moves across the map. It's almost always good.
Yeah,
but he
or
won't
just
be able to do
if
it
you
right
know
now.
it's there, you can make adjustments. You make sure all your gateways are active.
Yeah.
Because he's got the observer coming, but the observer coming isn't the same thing as having the observer there. Like, the observer's going to...
Yeah, imagine having a
coming
probe
the
here
other way.
right now.
Yeah.
And seeing this. Imagine how different that'd be.
You get your goons in the right position. You make sure that your Reaver's loaded up, ready to go.
That's
Is he
actually how
gonna
you
die
How
to
far
this?
is the Reaver?
He might just die to this.
Is the
Reaver is
Reaver done
50%
already?
done. It is halfway done.
Oh.
Reaver's going to be done on time, but this is
So-
an ugly situation.
Skipping
I
all
don't
forms of
think so.
detection and anti-air for Scan, taking this massive risk might pay off now, because this is a huge army compared to what he's supposed to have normally.
Yeah,
He needs the Reaver right now, but he doesn't have it, so it's a
Yeah, he's
little
not
bit too
taking.
late
Okay,
here.
Reaver's done. He needs to get he needs to do the same thing as he did before with the Reaver Scout, making sure that he hits the vultures and the marines.
And the one thing Dewalt is going for him is that there is no siege mode yet, so Scan has to go. He cannot go for a contain right now. He has to fight straight up.
Oh, look
And
at those
Reaver's
vulture
gonna
hits.
own.
So the Scout hits.
Yeah, massive Scarab so far.
Oh, and he gets the good on the tanks too.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
no
it
one's
looks
going
like
to
he's fine here.
Yeah, that was comfortable.
You know what he
It's
should actually do right now? He should actually counterattack with the shuttle and defend only with the Dragoons, because he doesn't need the Reaver anymore.
I don't think he should leave his base at all. These oh, beautiful hit.
Like, see how safe he is.
2 hit points on. Both of them only have the 1 armor keeping them alive. That Reaver damage got reduced from 100 to 99, got reduced from 50 to 49. So the tank has 2 hit points on both. That 1 armor just such value there.
Yeah, indeed. Makes it so that you can tank 3 shots if you move away. Alright, shuttle speed just finished. Turrets are done-ish, but they don't really cover everything.
Yeah, Dewalt's out for blood.
1 Vulture picked off. Taking a third base now at the island.
Those
the tank's repaired.
Yeah, the tank's getting repaired. Which, that's like having 2 free tanks. Oh, he's going to lose.
He's going to go for the front.
Oh,
1 tank goes down.
Shoot Scarab.
2 tanks in the main dealing with the Reaver while the Dragoons run into the front.
Yeah, and now he's taking the high ground. This position here is not just that he's in the natural, but it's a high ground natural.
Right. Even one.
Oh, he can't let this happen though with the SCVs. SCVs are like the strongest unit in the game.
SCVs actually beat Dragoons, yeah.
Yeah, SCVs would just man-fight Dragoons. Still, also the worker count isn't as far ahead as I thought it would be. Scan's actually caught up with workers. Scan cut workers to do that push. But
that's because Dewalt isn't macroing well. He's just not spamming probes, you know? I was looking at his next eye and they're not flashing all the time. That's literally why.
Yeah. Well, Scan...
what about the third base?
Was making them. Third base is obviously nice, even though it's a... You can't mine effectively. But it's nice just to have. Because Dewalt is factories, no stop up. So just having a third base on the island is good. Especially with
it's very good,
but
yeah.
can still break this easy. No one reaches the bunker, remember?
Yeah. Or just kill the 2 tanks and back. Like, he doesn't need to do more damage than this. Killing tanks is always good.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's going to
destroy even more cities. He can just hold position at the bottom here. He can stay out of range of the siege tank from the main base.
Also, SCVs, they might have 60 hit points, but if they keep fighting over and over, eventually they start going down.
And now back.
These Dragoons aren't coming home. These Dragoons are not getting their retirement.
Well, when you're ahead, you can just keep trading.
I don't know that he's that far ahead to lose this many Dragoons for free.
Well, he could have gotten more value, but we got 4 more Dragoons coming in. They're for sure going to take out some tanks. 1 tank goes down.
Mine.
Oh, and it comes the speed shadow. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and then the Reaver is not going to... I was thinking the Reaver's going to kill the SCVs the natural, but it's just going to... okay. Turret goes down. Tank goes... I mean, Dewalt's done it. He's done it.
Yeah.
Okay, I liked his opening. It was the greediest opening I've ever seen anyone ever do. However, I mean, sometimes if you're playing against a player who you might think is better, you take a risk. And it worked out. Scan went a blind gasless expand. If Dewalt knew that Scan was going for a blind gasless expand or suspected it, that opening was perfect. Like, that was... Again, I can't get into just how greedy that expansion was. That's not just the 13 Nexus. That's 13 Nexus, max out 1717 on probe, build another pylon and keep making probes.
Yeah, that was a Nexus first with the assumption that the enemy is not going to bunker rush you. You know? That's what that was.
That's what you do on like an island map where there's 2 main bases. That's a plasma build.
Yeah.
Except on plasma, at least you're worried about some kind of proxy.
Yeah, at least you can get an SCV in, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, go, Ox.
Next map is Fighting Spirit.
I mean, it works, and he takes the game. He just needed the small edge, and then also his defense has been fantastic all of these games. It's he has made mistakes, like letting vultures get in, just some of his multitasking slips sometimes time. But if you give him a Reaver and some goons and tell him to hold a push, he'll hold that push.
Yeah, and the Reaver is, probably the best counter to these early 2-base pushes and 1-base pushes.
Yeah, it's very execution heavy though, and Dewalt's execution is there. If it's something where if you get it wrong, you're gonna suffer. If you get it right,
sure.
Make it look easy. And Dewalt makes it look easy.
You can definitely die to the push anyway. You have the tool, like you can lead a horse to water, but the horse still has to drink the water.
So one thing we should mention is that the first map was, I believe, chosen by the organizers, which was Destination, and then loser picks. So Fighting Spirit should have been picked by Scan.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. He would pick this map. Because Scan, he has better fundamentals, and he doesn't want this weird map from like 2006. You know, he just wants to play a real game.
Yeah,
That's how he thinks it's gonna be.
He's been rewarded with close positions and also the favourable close positions where Dewalt's natural third is facing Scan, so he can't take it. This, if Scan goes for another 2-base like 6-fact timing, this is exactly the position that Scan would choose.
Yeah, because then if you go and you get to the bridge, it's always good to get to the bridge. But if you get to the bridge on this position, the opponent can't even rally probes to his third base.
Yeah, or they can't use the third base to get back out of the map because all they can do is get back out into where the mines and the turrets, the tanks already are. So Dewalt is scouting this way first, and that's because he wants to make sure that Scan's not here. It's the thing. You scout the position you don't want them to be because at least you know if they are there. And he's not taking his gas. It's going to be a either. Okay, there's going to be 2 Zealot Goon or 3 Zealot Goon. Probably.
Scan. Sorry, go on.
I think probably 3 Zealot Goon just because he gets the early scout, he confirms the gas, and he knows it's close position. But it could be either.
But Scan was doing the option select build where he was going to go for the same build as last game, where it's a 1-rack expansion, but then you reactively take the gas if you need to. And he was actually not going to take that gas if the probe hadn't arrived.
Yeah, if you get the gas still while doing the 3 Zealot Goon, it's just so difficult for Terran.
Right, so Scan was going for a 1-rack expansion, but reacted by taking the gas when the probe showed up.
I mean, you have to, because otherwise the Zealot's going to be base. So Dewalt didn't send his first Zealot. That gateway wasn't rallied.
Right.
And it looks like he's opting for the 2 Zealot Goon.
Yeah, it seems actually like Dewalt may have been... Do you think that he reacted by getting the gas in the core after scouting? Do you think he was going for a 1-gate expansion versus... Say if there had been like a gas expansion, would he have gone for 1-gate expansion, do you think?
So I watched him play a series with, I think, Dandy yesterday, and no, he just likes the 2 Zealot Goon.
Oh, he just
thinks
does
it's
it.
strong. Because, I mean, ideally you kill some Marines, you force some additional Marines. If you can force them to make a Vulture, that's fantastic, because your Goon just arrives and kills the Vulture. And it delays their expansion. However, I mean, Scan's ready. Look at this. Look at that, SimCity. Dewalt's just here going, oh yeah, okay, maybe I can pick off the SCV if I'm lucky, but Scan's going to focus the probe if he tries anyway. There's nothing he can do.
So after this happens, you made 2 Zealots. Is it even good, you know? I guess it's fine. What do you think?
I don't think it's... I don't do this because this happens to me. This is the thing. It's Dewalt reliably gets value from his Zealots, but I don't know how he does it. For me, every time I try this, this is what it looks like.
Well, he's not really getting value yet, at least. I don't know what he's going to do with them later, but so far he doesn't do anything. So we have a Vulture on the way for Scan, which he's going to use to expand.
Yeah, again, 100% it looks like this for me. It's I make the Zealots and I'm like, okay, well, he killed my probe. The Zealots aren't getting value.
Right.
Terran made a SimCity.
Some decent Marine micro, taking down the Zealots.
Yeah, I mean,
Scouts the Vulture.
Scan's in a great position here.
So now he has to be aware of this Vulture.
Yeah. But Dragoon range is not going to be on time. Tank's going to be ready to stop it. And the Vulture is just going to force him to be hyper-aware, because one Vulture getting in your base, if you don't have any Dragoons on standby, that one Vulture is enough to kill you.
Yeah, that's right.
And also, early game as Protoss, you quite often you want your gateway inactive. You want to be rushing your Robo, rushing your Nexus. Gateway units aren't actually that important. You have a few Dragoons outside their base, but basically, you don't need any defense. But if there's a Vulture on the map, you need a Dragoon on your ramp all the time. You need a... you can't have your Dragoons harassing the bunker. And we see that. Dewalt goes, okay, I know you have a Vulture. I guess I just have to be defensive for the next 10 minutes.
And say you only leave one Dragoon at home and you harass with the rest, you attack the bunker with the rest, well, he can still lay mines behind you, then push out and make you walk into the mines. So you have to worry about
quick
that.
Citadel. Dewalt is going Dragoon range and Citadel. That's an interesting choice. But I think that Dragoon range is probably going to successfully conceal the Citadel. I'd love him to be showing Dragoon range right now, just because by showing Dragoon range, you're making the Terran less aware of the DT.
It would be good, but maybe the reason he's not doing this is that...
This is DT drop, holy shit.
The mines could be out on the map. Yeah, it's probably going to be a DT drop, and, you know, this has a chance of working. Why? Because every previous game, Scan metagamed that there would not be DTs and took a risk and delayed detection. Every single game.
This game we're seeing the Army and probably going to be the Academy combo. That is, I think, the stronger combination in terms of getting a push timing going on, if the Terran can get away with it. E-base, I've always felt more defensive than what you do if you're afraid. Yeah. Oh, he can't afford to lose this Goon. He doesn't have much behind this. He's got one gateway and he's got DT tech not finished. This is... he's just dead. Even if this doesn't 100% kill him, this is going to do enough that he can't play.
There's going to be a mine contain, for sure, at the very least, which is going to lead into a siege mode contain.
Yeah.
But we still have no detection on the way for Scan. None whatsoever. Again, he's delaying detection. To get, you know, more other stuff. Upgrades in this case. So that is the one hope.
This is such a painful position for Dewalt because he doesn't have DTs.
Yeah, he has a DT on the
DT
way,
rush.
right?
The DTs aren't done. They're not in the building. Because
Yeah.
he made his archive, he went Robo before archives. Also, at this point, Scan has to be like, okay, what the fuck do you have behind this? There's no Reaver.
Like, if you see a DT come out now, it's fine, because you can just make more vultures. You have so much time to react and lay more mines. When you're up here.
If this was just a regular DT rush, the DTs would be out by now. The only thing that this could ever be is a DT, is if you went like robotics and also archives, and that's why you have nothing.
Yeah, Scan has to be thinking about either a Reaver drop or a DT drop right now. He has to be thinking about it because this push, it just went too well.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense that Dewalt doesn't have any units.
And we do see an engineering bay on the way. Here comes the first DT, so he's going to see it.
Oh, mind drag.
So he's probably making vultures now.
revealing the DT.
The shuttle's done, but the DTs aren't in it. Dewalt is playing slow. It's odd.
But he's afraid of more mines. He was waiting for the shuttle, and the shuttle is on the way now. But if he had actually walked across the map, he could have won the game. He didn't know that, though, because he didn't know that there weren't any mines.
Well, the shuttle finished, but the DTs were in the natural. It's if you're going for this, you go every second counter with this build.
Yeah,
Dewalt is playing slow. It's odd. Double missile tower. He's Scan knows what's up, and he's afraid of the
still
all-in sniping.
Turrets aren't done yet. He should probably go for the turrets right away. He's not really. He's going for the SCVs. He should go for the turrets. Well, that was just one chance. I don't know.
And there's opportunities for him in the main, and he's not taking them there either. There was only one turret in the main.
Yeah.
He could have overrun the main and forced like a slow turret creep from one turret elsewhere.
Right. Yeah, not walking across the map. That I respect because he doesn't have map back. Like, he doesn't know.
This is a very quick arbiter behind this.
Which is fine if you do damage.
And remember, Dewalt is still ahead in workers. It's 2 base against 2 base, which usually favors Terran. But Dewalt is still fine. He didn't take a lot of damage. He lost his like 2 or 3 goons and the zealot, but he didn't take any economic damage against Scan's push.
Yeah, that pylon wall was actually fantastic.
Yeah.
Where he made the pylon wall, then he pulled the dragoons back.
Right.
To position them so that he could take shots without receiving shots in return. Every time
and then the Terran, the only thing he can do is shoot at the wall, which takes like an hour to bring down, because you're not going through that.
Yeah, for the hit point, pylons are extremely cheap.
Destroying the wall is nice, but when you have DTs behind them, you know, Terran's on a clock.
Yeah.
The pylons give you that time.
So Scan, is he not making SCVs, or was it just because of the comsats? Because he's gone from even in workers to behind in workers.
Yeah, whenever you get the comsats, you fall behind, you know. Yeah, he's going back to making SCVs now. Although it is going to be a 2-base 6 fact again. It's got +1 armor on the way.
There's no starport, so this is going to be reliant entirely on Scan. So then comsat. He's going to be playing against arbiters with no detection other than his comsats.
Yeah, and what you really want to do is get to the bridge and contain the products, and then hit up the turrets. So then it'll be okay.
I would like to see Dewalt using his DT coming back in, because he needs to be taxing the comsats, and that's exactly what he's trying to do.
Yeah, you can really win games like that versus a 2-base push, tax comsats.
Yeah, you just force out the scans.
Yeah, and he might force one out now.
Shuttle come back in, be ready to pick it up. Dewalt knows what's up. Dewalt is so disciplined with his... he's so disciplined with his scans. He's like, no, I'm going to use mines only.
Yeah,
I'm going to use my...
Very smart. Okay, one scan goes down. So that's
and he doesn't... Dewalt is
no
just
pickup.
not as quick. This is what we're seeing, I think, in all of these games, is that Dewalt is not quite as quick as he needs to be. The idea is there. Dewalt knows exactly what he's doing. He was trying to force out a scan and then jump it back in the shuttle, but he was just a second too slow.
Yeah, the ideas are good. The execution is just good enough. The ideas are good.
Okay, well now he's got the Invisible Army. However, there's 130 energy on one.
It's a good timing. There's no energy for stasis right now, so this timing is extremely dangerous.
Yeah,
You've
Dewalt
got-
trying to engage this army as early as possible, so scans are used, and he hopes that Scan doesn't have any more scans when he reaches his natural.
There's 2 more scans.
But he's already here, and he can just build
Yeah.
turrets here. He made it all the way.
Yeah.
Yep. 2 more scans left. That's all he needs. Used one of them. 1 more scan left, but 1 more scan left. The battle's happening now. That's fine. And there go the turrets. They're starting.
You know, it's funny because normally when you do a style like this, you're setting up a contain so that even though Protoss is a base ahead, you're so cost effective because he has to run into mine every time he fights. But now Protoss doesn't even have a third base, so Protoss isn't even ahead of him. So he has the positional advantage, and he's not even behind.
Yeah, this is a close map. So this is a like cross map situation, but it's close map. Also, the observer died. The observer died of position. Oh no! Such mine hits.
Oh.
There's 2 Dragoons dead. Another one is basically dead.
Yeah, it looks like the one.
Oh, and then more mine hits at the top. Okay,
Oh,
this
yikes.
is done.
And a weak stasis on 2 tanks only because they're spread out. Stasis really isn't that good once the Terran is in position with spread out tanks. Stasis is good for Terrans who are moving.
It's stasis is something that like ideally it gets more and more powerful as the game continues. You get more stasis. Your Arbiter count just builds up, and then you kill everything. But yeah, 1 stasis. I mean, it just didn't do anything. You cast 1 stasis on 2 of Scan's tanks. He's like, okay, yeah, but I have 8 tanks, so I'm fine. Doesn't change the fight.
Scan has gone for a 2-base push in every single game.
In that game there, 2-base
yeah.
push was the only thing he should be doing.
Yeah, he
Close
needed to
position
use
fighting
it.
spirit against somebody going Arbiter Rush. Yeah,
I
it's
agree.
2-base.
Yeah.
But
I
you
completely
are
agree.
that's correct thing to identify. That Scan does seem to have decided that is how he wants to kill Dewalt. I didn't like Dewalt's opening. Losing that first goon was huge as well, because losing that first goon meant that he couldn't even put up a convincing defense.
Right.
That first, because he's trying to hold some Marines and a tank and 2 Vultures with like 4 Dragoons and a Zealot, and you can pretend that you have some kind of army there. You can micro against it. You can take shots at Marines, but if you lose a Dragoon right off the bat, then you can't even pretend.
So you say you didn't like the opening, but first of all, Scan delayed the detection in every game, including this one. And had he rushed all the way to the natural, he could have destroyed the natural because the turrets weren't done. Even with the slowness that you pointed out, he still could have jumped on top of the turrets. He could have. So the opening actually could have worked had he been just a little bit faster.
Guys, the next map is Luna. I'm presuming Dewalt picked this.
Yeah. Interesting map. Again, this one it's a nightmare to try and do the pylon walls just because it's an old map. You have to like use 6 pylons to wall off the mineral only.
Yeah, the pylon wall, it takes a while to come online, you know. Like a minute later than you'd expect. So overall, it's a good Protoss map, except Vultures are a nightmare on this map. And we saw what happened on Tower Cross with the Vultures.
Yeah. I always
Okay,
like
Scan
Scan
spawning
has
here. Scan spawns at the best position for turret rings on this map.
Yeah, so that's
A
good.
little bit lucky on that part.
Yeah, if you want to reveal the map and look at the bottom right, dude, like, that position is a joke. Like, you need, like, twice the turrets for bottom right compared to the top left. It's crazy.
Again, we're seeing Dewalt's natural third. The 9 o'clock location is not the one he wants to take, because again, he's facing Scan.
Yeah, so he's going to have 2 entrances, which is going to make his third base very harassable. With Vultures, very harassable.
Yeah, instead he's probably going to want to take 6 o'clock as his third, but that's going to be difficult to defend. These locations are just bad for Dewalt.
You can pylon wall one bridge and put Dragoons on the other. So it's not like it's free damage, but it is a pain. So really, Scan getting the best spawning locations here. It's already favoring him a bit, because he got the easiest to defend base for himself, and his opponent was the hardest to defend base.
But I think you can pylon wall on the right side of the 6
Right.
o'clock third base for Dewalt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, and you must do that.
Yeah.
I'm interested if we're going to see another Zealot opening, because I don't think he got the damage he was looking for. So against Dandy yesterday, we saw that the Zealots were getting some Marine kills. They were causing chaos. They were like delaying the factory. And then we saw Scan defend it, and it just looked completely impotent. It was, I think, Scan is on a different level when it comes to Zealot Rush shenanigans. And Dewalt might be thinking, wait a second, sorry, I can do this against foreigners, but maybe not against Koreans.
Did you know that when this map came out, it was actually a big deal that you couldn't wall off, because Terrans always walled off the ramp, but on this map you can't.
Okay, standard Dragoon opener for Scan, for Dewalt here, and it looks like Scan is just going for the factory expand.
Yeah, a good choice. I mean, you're not going to go bunker expand on this map. Look at it. It's just not an option. The entrance is too big.
I like Dewalt delaying the scout as well. With the Goon opening, you don't actually need to know where they are. It doesn't change anything. If you know where they are, you're going Goons into expand into Robo. If you don't know where they are, you're going Goons into expand into Robo. Whatever they're doing, Goons into expand into Robo.
Yeah,
so
and he's
no reason
refraining from scouting to get more money.
Yeah,
but he's doing a build, like you said, that doesn't require scouting, so that's good.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see a 23 next here. I think it was the 20. Okay, Scan is still mining. Yeah, Scan's 2-fact. Yeah.
2-fact. Yeah.
Okay.
Good map for
now,
it, actually.
This and close position too. Vulture first.
Whoa, Vulture first 2-fact.
I don't know how I feel about this. Also, Dewalt is not going 23 next. Dewalt's added another pylon. He's going to keep making goons.
Yeah.
So
which is generally good, I guess. Like, it's 2-fact.
And his goon's going to find it immediately, so he's going to see no bunker. He's going to see that there's a. Okay, there's only 3 Marines so far, but he will see the Vulture come out, I think.
I think he's faking. He's making this so it doesn't look like a 2-fact, but then it actually is a 2-fact.
Oh, this is huge for Dewalt, that he sees the first Vulture coming out.
Yeah.
It's weird. You look at this and think, wait a second, what build are you doing where there's no bunker at the natural and you're making Vultures? And there's only one.
Yeah, it is weird, but it does look like an expansion. It doesn't look like a 2-fact at all.
I don't think this does look like an expansion, because who would go for a Vulture with no bunker? Because the Vulture can't secure an expansion. You go bunker just to make sure that you have some staying power at your natural, and then you go for the Vulture.
Yeah, but he wouldn't have needed the bunker just yet. Also, the thing is, if you have a Vulture on the map, you force the Protoss to defend, which makes it easier for you to take your expansion, so you can make a bunker much later than normal. So this could still be an expansion, because you see that the Dewalt is afraid of the counterattack. He's not on the front, which means Scan could actually go and expand right now.
I don't think Dewalt. I think Dewalt believes this is a 2-fact. I think he's taking the expand. Yeah, he's about to add a second gateway. He's delaying his Robo. Dewalt isn't desperate for Robo to get an observer and to tell him it's a 2-fact. Dewalt just goes, okay, no, I'm going to make goons. Lots of goons.
Well, at this point, it's been quite a while without an expansion, and this game he does have a probe at the front, which is good.
Yeah.
That might be because he suspects it.
Yeah, this is him just going down the checklist going, okay, wait a second, what am I playing against? This is...
And he sees
this
the
doesn't
FD.
make any sense.
What looks like an FD.
Yeah.
Actually, had it been an FD, he would have started earlier and not made a Vulture to begin with, so... Yeah, he probably knows.
Yeah. And
look at the mines at the front.
This beautifully.
So, the mines are already up here. I think this is a trap Scan is laying. He's trying to bait Protoss into coming out and harassing the army as you push forward, which will cause him to run into the mines.
Building his shield battery. Dewalt is...
yeah, he knows.
Adding shield battery. He's already got 2 gateways pumping goons. Adding a 3rd gateway.
This is a problem, though. He's walking around to the left, and he's not going to catch the units. So he's going to let the enemy walk all the way up to his main base. Which is natural. Okay, now he turns around.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to... He didn't know which path Scan was taking. He was trying to get engaged. I love the goons on the side there. If he can catch some of the tanks from behind... Okay, never mind. He's just going to try and man-fight it.
He got no harassment to the army, so this is dangerous. Because of those early mines.
Yeah, he's locked the tank for free. That... Yeah.
Yeah, Dragoon just goes down. Focusing on the shield battery, and...
Yeah.
This is dangerous. I don't know about this. I think Scan's going to take it.
This is holdable, certainly, but yeah, he wanted to be killing the Marines on the way over. He wanted to be...
Doesn't have an observatory. I don't know if he forgot to build it. But he has a Robo with no observatory on the way.
He forgot it.
Yeah,
he was busy, and now he's supply blocked.
Right.
This was holdable.
Yeah, with the observer on the way, as it would have been holdable, I agree.
Just the supply block.
We have to talk about the first Vulture, though. He went Vulture first, hit it on the map, and used it to put mines down, which prevented the Protoss from harassing the army as it walked across the map. So he was allowed to just walk all the way up here.
So what about the Bulldog potential? Because in this position, as Photos, you've got 3 gateways, no base. Terran's probably expanded. You what happened to? Oh, that was an eBay. So that was the Vax that was at the natural. I thought Scan expanded, but he hasn't.
Yeah, Scan hasn't even expanded. He can just go for a 1-base contain, you know? 1 base versus 1 base, that's fine.
Okay, there's 2 Zealots being built. I think this is going to turn into a shuttle. No, it's going to go for Viva.
Yeah, he's getting the Robo support bay.
You bust out of here with the Zealot bombs, I think. Scan just going for hard contain. He's adding a bunker. He's going to add add missile turrets.
Yeah. Well, what do you know? On a map from 2004, the games look like 2004.
Yeah. This is ugly, but I think Dewalt can bust this. I mean, there's only 3 tanks. Once he gets the Viva out, Dewalt's really good at his Viva micro. He'll drop a Zealot, tanks fire out the Zealot, Viva takes a shot at the tank.
The reason he can break out is that Scan has to split his units up to have some in the main and some in the contain. And therefore he can attack where the enemy's weak, you know, where he doesn't have everything. But it's still going to cost him a lot. He's going to elevator route now.
I don't know about this. I feel like with this many vultures, these are just going to be 3 units.
Once he gets 2 more down there, he'll be okay. 2 Dragoons lose to vultures, but 4 Dragoons are not going to lose to what is this? 6 vultures.
I disagree.
Well, 1 tank reacting actually, and he's dominating these units, so I guess you're right. 2 Dragoons go down. Wow. And now, Scan knows that the plan isn't to counterattack with shuttles, so he's sending down the units he had in his main. 2 more tanks coming in.
And the Viva...
More Dragoons dying.
Yeah, I think 2 Dragoons just while your Viva's building, just to like take some shots, clear some mines, be aggressive is fine, but then you want to be able to pick them back up again is the thing.
Yeah, can't be losing units like that. And the tanks go back. The tanks retreat.
Okay, so he can do Zealot drop, take a shot at the... oh, he's just attacking with the shuttle. I don't like that. He can clear this contain. And I feel like he can
is so ready for this.
All the tanks moving to the contain.
He can clear the contain now, but I don't know that he can clear the contain later, is what makes me worried.
We have a 1-base starport coming in. He's going for a Wraith to counter the shuttle. That's smart. I agree with that. And here's the drop, and Scan is so ready for it. Yeah, he has 5 tanks here.
I'm looking at this thinking, this is what you're doing instead of clearing the 3 tanks at your natural. This is how you're spending your time.
He saw the tanks moving from the main base of Scan. He saw them moving from the top to the contain. So he saw there are actually like 5 or 7 tanks at the contain, and that's why he went to the main base. Now that he realized, oh, there are 4 tanks in the main base, now he's going back to clear the contain.
Yeah, he is.
None of the tanks in range of the ramp as well, so it was actually allowed to get... Oh, he loses Viva for free! Oh, that's disastrous.
Look at how cost effective this. Like, he won't even break the contain. He won't even break it.
Yeah, and I feel like, again, the 2 Zealots and a Viva, you can get them above the tanks, you can take shots at the top tank in the contain, and also you can take shots at anything coming to reinforce. It's because if you kill the back tank, then the goon play that he just did is much more effective.
Yeah, he just lost to some mines he wasn't aware of. Essentially, that's what happened.
I think
might destroy the Reaver.
I just don't like the concept behind his shadow counterattack there with the Reaver. I think that because he has all these goons that are pinned, if he breaks the contain, the goons are suddenly in play. He can do something with them.
Yeah, it was too late to go for that, you know.
Kill 3 tanks and you win 20 goons on the map as a reward. It's... kill the tanks.
He just thought there are more tanks, so that's why he couldn't.
Yeah, as you say, MasterRey, like, first he saw 2 tanks going down, so he thought, okay, I have to counter. But then, what he didn't see was those tanks turned around. Scan was ready for it.
Yeah.
Because he had mines everywhere.
Exactly.
So essentially he had a map back.
And the elevator play, So, the elevator play, I like if he goes double shuttle, is the thing. Because if he goes double shuttle, he can actually get some units on the ground there. But if you don't have double shuttle, if you're going shuttle Reaver, sure, drop 2 goons, take some shots at mines, soften up some vultures, force an under siege, whatever. but you keep the shuttle over them, and the moment Scan's ready, you put them back in, because there's no way that 2 goons or 4 goons are ever going to be enough to deal with what Scan has on hand. If you drop 2 goons, you fly the shuttle back, you bring 2 more goons. All you've done is put more units into the fight than you can ever evacuate.
He wanted to get like half his units on the outside so he could surround.
Yeah, which if in that case you go 2 shuttle. It's because you're using this shuttle, using 1 shuttle, but trying to move more units than the shuttle can ever move, and then halfway through this operation, you're redirecting the shuttle to go mess around with a Viva. It's just, if you go elevator, if that makes sense.
Our next map is Blue Storm.
If you want to be elevating your units out, then that's what you're doing, not the Viva.
This map. Yeah, I mean, obviously it wasn't good. I'm not going to argue that.
Yeah.
It didn't work out. But this map is interesting.
It is.
1, when it came out, everyone thought it was a Zerg favorite map, and initially it even was statistically. But then it turned out that Protoss started beating Zerg on this map. Protoss actually has a winning record against Zerg on this map. And PvT, one thing that's good on this map is carriers, because the 3rd base doesn't have any gas. So we have actually seen professional level games in which Terran rushes a 3rd base, scans the carriers, and goes mass marine medic tank. It's actually a thing on this map.
This is a gas steal attempt by Dewalt too. This is a gas steal opener. He's just bringing out his builds from what is it, Eclipse. But I think Scan is going to...
Scan is going to take the gas. Now, or is he? No. Now, you might think that
was on purpose.
Actually, yeah, it was.
Yeah, he had
the reason he doesn't do this is that if there's a proxy gateway and you delay your barracks to get the gas instead, you just die. And he doesn't know. And he's not willing to take that risk right now.
Interesting. Behind this, Dewalt is just going to go for the 2 base. Dewalt is playing so greedy.
Yeah, he's going probe rush into Nexus first. Yeah.
But Scan is...
no, gateway.
Okay, that was a really late gateway. That was
very late. Oh, dude, I think he was going to go for the Nexus first, but
and
then
then
he saw the SCV exactly. Yeah.
This is such a high-level game. I love it.
So then he had to react.
He waits for Scan's SCV. Scan was waiting for the SCV to go on the right-hand side of the racks, and then stopped building, jumped it out.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the moment that happened, Dewalt saw it happen, and
yep.
I'm really enjoying this, like 2600 MMR versus 2800 MMR like contest we're having here. This is beautiful.
So it's going to be a 1-gate expansion for Protoss. He's not afraid of vultures because the Terran doesn't have a gas either.
Yeah. I feel like what he was most afraid of there was an eBay at the natural, honestly. If you go straight for a Nexus first and they build an eBay in your natural, you're like, okay, well, I guess I lose.
That's also why he's making the Zealot right now. He knows he can't hurt the Terran because there's a wall in, but he needs the Zealot to clear out the natural in case of an engineering win.
Yeah, it's such a bad feeling when you go for that and all you have is probes and you have to kill an eBay. It's just... yeah, I guess my build doesn't work. Good game.
But to be honest, in that situation, I think you can block the little the little pass with the probes, so the SCV cannot go in. If he's scared of an eBay.
That's true.
So I think you can get the Nexus down no matter what. If you want.
Yeah, he could have done it to buy more time.
Yeah, you're smarter than I am. That was I wasn't thinking of it in terms of it.
But he still didn't go for it. So maybe he just wasn't comfortable with Scout or 12 Nexus in general, for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult map, but I guess a quick push. I feel like Scan could put a bunch of racks on the high ground and then just like pressure with
the classic siege tank with a floating building on the expansion. It's very annoying on this map. As any race against Terran, really. Including Terran. Even Terrans don't like when that's done to them.
The infamous TVT complaint about the balance in the units, going, tanks are bullshit, how do you even defend against this? Vultures got in my base and killed all my SCVs.
So essentially, 1-gate expansion versus 1 racks expansion when everything's said and done. But you know what? This is good for Terran because what's supposed to happen, like what Protoss wants, when the game is actually even, Protoss is ahead on workers and supply. But now they're even. The expansion timing is the same, which is good for Terran. The SCV count is the same, which is good for
Here comes the Zealot run by.
The Zealot walk by.
Yeah.
3 Zealots, that's a lot. And we don't even have a factory started yet.
Yep. One Zealot just baiting, and then suddenly There they go.
Yeah, here we go. So, some chaos being caused. Oh, dude, the Citadel of Adun was scouted. It was the Citadel of Adun in natural, and it was just scouted by an SCV. Huge for Scan.
Oh, factory delayed. The factory SCV is dead. And Scan hasn't... Okay, Scan did notice. He just took him a while to get another SCV there. Come on, Dewalt, kill that last... There we go.
So, yeah.
Dewalt was just baiting me as a viewer, going, oh, am I going to kill it? Am I not going to kill it? Who knows? Who could say? Yes, I'll kill it.
There's really no way to deny scouting when you only have Zealots. And so I'm thinking maybe he should have proxied the Citadel. Because that's the only way it could have gone unscouted.
I think Naked DT is actually fine, because he can do Naked DT into a Arbiter on here.
Yeah, in this situation, even if it's scouted, it's still okay, because it's not a gimmick builder. It's actually just a little bit of a solid builder. You can actually just kind of go for it.
Yeah. And you say, okay, yeah, I'm gonna make an Archives. I might make a DT, might not. See how I feel. You have to respond either way.
So yeah, we have no Observer. We got no Dragoon range. No Robo even started, and we just finished.
Yeah, he's only just started range. Scan was checking for the Proxy Robo, just looking for a DT drop flash, where you build a shuttle at 6 o'clock and jump the DTs down. But I think this could either go into Arbiter Rush, or it could just go. He could add Zealot Legs and just play a heavy macro game from here.
Well, it looks like he's going for some Dark Templar, so I would imagine fast Arbiter after this. So we might actually see another 2-base Goliath timing attack, pre-Arbiter timing attack.
I don't think this is Arbiter. I disagree with you. He's getting his +1. That's expensive on gas. There's no Stargate.
Yeah.
I think this is 2DT into macro.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. It's a strange build, but...
Yeah,
he lost the 2-base push every game, and he also lost when he was going Arbiter, so I think he could use the Templar Archive to make some Storm, and then go for the push crushing with a big army and Storm maybe.
Yeah, this is a no Robo cheese. Okay, there's a Stargate behind it. Yeah, this is no Robo cheese.
Okay, no Robo Arbiter. So he is going to go Arbiter after all, apparently, but there's still no Robo, yeah.
Adding, just make another wave of DTs. So.
Yeah, we've got a DT Rask in the natural right now. 2
Oh,
SCVs have gone down.
Yeah,
3 SCVs.
wow. Already low from the Zealot Harass. He's just
We've got a DT running into the main. If he doesn't notice that, he could die right now.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have any scans. There's got 1 scan in the natural, but there's no scan
he
on
has
the
1 scan and there are 2 DTs.
Yeah.
Not a good proposition. And the Arbiter take is on.
Yeah, this is like some math problem where there's a DT in your main.
He's not even going to get the DT. Oh. The DT escapes.
DT in your main, DT in your natural, you have 1 scan. How do you survive?
Well, you don't, essentially. Wow. Oh. You know, so you might look at this and be like, well, what can Terran do? I'll tell you what he should have done. It's kind of hard, but he scouted the Citadel, right? So he should have expected this. And what you need to do is literally at all times, you have to look at your natural and be ready to scan. That's it. If you let a DT in, you die. That's what he needed.
Or just make a turret. Say, okay, you know what? I'm a really good player. If I don't lose, I can probably win. I know that sounds obvious. Like, the trick to winning is not losing. But in terms of, if nothing weird happens, if I don't let something surprising kill me, then if I can take this late, I can probably capitalize on my better multitasking.
There's also a chance that he can get some depots as a wall in the natural, so the DT cannot run.
Yeah, so it's easier to react
on the left side.
Right. That would have been a great idea, actually. I completely agree with that. SimCity against the DT. But I'm talking about, like, before you get the turret. Because I don't think it's a bad choice to go Academy first, but if you do that, you have to be looking all the time until you eventually get a turret, which you do have to.
What happened to other scans? Because I didn't see him use them, but he must have used 1 because he only had 1 when the DT attacked.
Right. So he actually scanned the enemy, which is so risky. I mean, did he not see the Citadel? I saw an SCV come into the natural, and it's the Citadel there, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, is that if you see a Citadel and you want to use your scans offensively, I mean, I think using scans for scouting is great, but there's a time and a place.
Yeah, the standard thing to do, unless you're really looking for something specific, if you're fishing for something, you have a read on your opponent, is to only scan when you have 100 scans energy. Only then do you scan.
He did need to check if it was like mass speed lot or if it was Arbiter Rush. He needs the information, but he only had one scan left over for 2
Dude,
DT.
you know what might have happened actually? Maybe he didn't see the Citadel. Maybe as soon as the attack came, he sent his SCV home, and he just barely wasn't in sight range of the Citadel. That might actually have happened.
I think so as well, to be honest. Otherwise, he wouldn't play it so risky.
Right.
He would just get an eBay, I think, if he really sees the Citadel.
This map
Okay.
is Python, guys.
Close position
Yeah.
Python. 3
Close
o'clock
by
focus
air.
against 12 Terran.
So that's
Yeah.
pretty sweet for Protoss. I mean, if Terran goes for any sort of 2-base push like we saw earlier, you can just counterattack the main with shuttles, and then be home in time to defend very easily. But on the other hand, Terran can take the mineral only, and then take the top left corner base, and then play split planet pretty well. So the late game is okay for Terran.
I like these close positions better than if Protoss was at 9 because the bottom right expansion, which I think Dewalt is probably going to want to take, is very far from scan.
Very far away indeed.
I don't think you want to be. If the positions were a close position but the other direction, then Dewalt third base would be a very difficult proposition to take. He'd probably have to take the mineral only.
Yeah, he would. He would have to do that. That's right. Or the island, which we saw him do in Reverse Temple. The game he won, by the way.
He's won 2 games now.
Sorry, one of the games. Yeah, he won the DTs also. Right. See,
Yeah,
the
that's-
PTSD of seeing the DTs, my mind just blanked that out. I didn't even remember.
Well, I mean, Dewalt's 2 wins. One has been a DT rush, and one of them has been like the greediest build
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
ever seen. That was an island map build that he broke out there.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it was an island expansion and Nexus first, so pretty islands-ish. I agree.
I wouldn't even try that shit on BGH.
Maybe if you're in the middle of your allies, you know, like
Yeah.
if you're your pocket player, you could go for it.
Yeah, if I'm top left, I have an ally at 12 and they walled me off. Sure, maybe.
Right. Yeah, for stuff like that, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Dewalt not mining gas. That's an odd choice. Okay, there we
nice
go.
comfort. So what do you do on this map? Obviously, vultures are amazing on this map, just in general. Because say he takes the bottom right, it's very difficult to wall off. It takes like 10 pylons to wall off. Shuttles are
Yeah.
amazing. Taking a third base is hard-ish as Terra. You can't really rush it. You need to get at least 3 factories before you go for it.
I feel like the mid game on this plays kind of like Circuit Breakers in that you've got this giant wide open middle that you can dominate with mass goons. Like
Yeah.
as Protoss, you'll always be getting a flank on the Terran army. There's no push direction Terran can take where you're not going to get like at least a 180-degree arc on them.
True, but then in the late game, because there are no tunnels, there are no paths, Terran, once you get big enough, can actually just control the center. Because there are no, it's not like a polling point where you can walk around on some tunnels and force the center to maneuver. No, he just has a big ball and it just covers everything.
Yeah, there's a certain. Okay, that's the +1 air. That is not a dragoon range.
Whoa, okay, so he's faking it.
Yeah.
But what's he gonna build then? Because he's not. Okay, he's gonna have to destroy the SCV first, because he doesn't have a pylon outside of the map.
Yeah, this is an odd choice to go +1 air when the dragoon is. Because I feel like he could have gone range and it'd be just as effective.
Yeah, right, because he already has
Cancel
the
it.
gas anyway.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to be Citadel Robo.
Oh, that's the only thing that makes sense, because then he actually needs,
Okay, just pure Robo.
he needs the gas from not going range if he's gonna go Robo and Citadel. But it is just Robo now, as you say, so far.
And it's not going to be Citadel Robo because you would go Citadel first.
Yeah, that's true. You would.
Okay, this could just be a faster expand. Sometimes if you're not planning on doing any pressure, you can skip the range and just take a Nexus more quickly. However, I mean, it's going to be obvious because the range isn't going to finish and there's not going to be damage on the bunker.
Yeah, it's just not gonna shoot in the bunker. It's actually going to be fast as possible Reaver, because essentially on this map, when you just go for a normal Reaver, it's like you went for a proxy Reaver, because of the close air positions. So I think that's what he's going for.
I have done this anyway. It's the thing. He could have gotten range. If you look at his money, he has.
He has so much gas, like why not go? Oh yeah, you're right. So he's going for fast Robo, but then using the range minerals to expand, I suppose. So it's gonna be a Reaver harassment into expansion without range.
Yeah, but I feel like the lack of goon harass in the bunker is. I don't
It's
think
a
this is
massive
good.
tell.
I don't
Yeah.
like this because I mean the extra 150 isn't as important as just having range because range is good. And the damage on the bunker, it's.
So it actually seems to me like Scan is maybe suspecting DTs, because he has to expect either Shuttle Reaver DT or DT drop, given that, as you say, there's no harassment of the bunker. None.
Yeah, and he's not even using his resource efficiently. I queued up the Reaver super early because he wasn't doing anything with it. It's like he could do this exact build and also have range right now. Is I guess what's frustrating.
Yeah, he could. That's true. He could have range right now. Anyway, here comes the first drop in a. Oh no, he doesn't even have the Reaver yet. Never mind.
He might still drop the 2 Zealots just to be annoying. And 2 Zealots are beefy.
Yeah, they are. Can deny some mining time. We have no anti-air on the way for Scan. None. He's actually going for like a strong FD.
Yeah, and Scan, Dewalt's just going to have to pull back up to his ramp to hold this if he wants to just do a counterattack.
He could really do that. Now, imagine he had range right now. Oh yeah, the reason he didn't get the range is that he wanted the shuttle speed. Okay, I see. I suppose, but if he had range, he could hold the ramp and then counterattack.
Yeah, he has money for these. This is a bizarre choice because.
And here comes the drop. He should not defend with the Reaver. I think he should definitely attack with it, which he is.
Yeah, and Scan knows
Scan
something
knows.
up.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's going back.
Scan's giving a bit too much respect here, I think.
So Scan didn't react as much as we thought he would to the lack of Dragoons shooting at the bunker. You know, he really didn't. He acted as if there was something else happening.
Oh, first Reaver Scarab is a dud.
He didn't really go into defensive mode.
The first goon went into the bunker and lost all of his shields.
Oh, we got the Dragoons in front.
Maybe. Okay, never mind.
Oh, and the Marines aren't here. Oh, now the Reaver's back doing work.
Not focusing
Oh, and the Marines just get out. These Rangers Dragoons are actually doing work.
Yeah, the non-ranged goons.
However, the Reaver is not doing any work at all. This Reaver has been trying to kill that one SCV for a while, but the SCV just keeps jumping into the gas.
He's gonna go for these tanks, though.
Drags the mine into his own Reaver.
Yeah, that's it. He could have been destroying these depots. That would have been pretty good.
Yeah.
Those 2 at the bottom there.
Oh, okay, he finally gets the SCV. The SCV is his nemesis. And now he has to shuttle speed too, which I like.
Yeah. Turrets are going to go up now.
He's going to be able to... he's denied a lot of mining. He's down in workers, but
he's going back to pick up a second Reaver.
Yeah.
And he has the time before the turrets come up because of the close air position. Normally,
if he can get on top of that tank as well. If he can drop them on top of the tank, he will kill both tanks immediately.
He's going for it. One tank goes down, maybe? Yes.
Yeah,
huge
both
damage
tanks.
being done. Now, normally there would not be 2 Reavers there. There could only be 1 Reaver.
Yeah, this is exploiting the close position beautifully.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, big Scarab hit. He's now even on workers.
Oh, the CV on one spot.
One Reaver goes down.
Focused.
He's going home to pick up a Zealot, I guess. Yeah, just 1 Zealot. I think he should have gone to pick up a Dragoon to the left, actually. It would have been faster. Since you're only going to get 1 Zealot anyway. But anyway, here we go. Coming in for another round.
Yeah, missile turret's on its way, but on its way ain't the same thing as done.
Right.
I would like to see him target the missile turret.
Takes a hit. Loses a Reaver.
Oh, that's huge. He's invested so much in these in this Robotech, and without the Reavers, it's the pressure's just off.
Yeah.
Double shuttle, interesting. So this is something that Dewalt loves to do. If he gets speed shuttle, he will definitely keep building shuttles, and he'll just run by your turrets. One thing I saw
Dragoons going to snag attack at the north front.
Oh, that's a beautiful pick off. One thing I saw Terra do when he 5-0'd Dewalt was Terra would always make 2 turrets side by side. And that's, I think, a Dewalt special. You go, okay, yeah, you're going to go double shuttle, I'll go double turret. Because these single turrets that Scan has, they look good right now against the like first opening shuttle. But they're not actually going to work. What's going to happen in a few minutes is Dewalt's going to do a double shuttle run by, drop a Zealot on the turret as he goes in, harass the main mineral line with double shuttle, 2 Reavers, a Goon, and some Zealots, and then get out.
Yeah, if he destroys the turrets, he can actually get out and not lose shuttles, and just do it again. It's way too cost effective.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he's going to do. I don't know about doing it at the natural.
Whoa! Barracks.
Okay.
In scan space.
Oh, +1 infantry attacks.
Oh, and he sees it immediately, and he's still going
he sees it.
That's a disaster. As
yeah,
like, okay, well, this sudden surprise build I'm doing, it's not going to be
shuttles coming in too.
Not going to be a surprise.
Oh man. Yeah, the Vault is just destroying it this game.
Oh,
big
hit.
hit.
Yeah.
Another big Scarab. Losing the Dragoons a little bit, but still.
Oh, I can't keep losing these Reavers. He's lost 2 Reavers that he shouldn't have, but... And against
you know what's crazy? He's still ahead.
Yeah.
He's
He's
still
up 12 workers and he's up 30 supply. And although scan supply is about to go up a lot because Marines take no time to build, it's not going to matter because they're Marines.
Also, imagine going Marines against somebody who's making Reavers non-stop. It's not going to
What do
work
we
out.
think about Reaver damage upgrade? Because I look at this and go, okay, wait a second. So what do you get? What breakpoint are you aiming for with your 125?
Oh, it's
damage?
great. I completely agree with the rear damage. Now, you might think, like, well, you still two-shot tanks. What's the point? But what matters is that you get more splash. So if the tank is running away, you still kill it in 2 instead of 3. Also,
Well,
if the tank is next to it.
What worries me is the Marines are okay. It might be for the medics because half damage on 125 is 62.5, which means it can one-shot medics. But it's like a 50 damage. Oh,
He's trying to take it. He's not getting it. Did you see that in National?
he disjointed the siege shot. That is so difficult to do.
No, he actually took the damage. He actually took it.
He took 2 tank hits and his Reavers. He disjointed it. 100% he disjointed
Oh
that.
yeah, half of it. You mean he only got the not the splash? He got the single target damage only. Right?
The first time he failed, he took a tank hit, but the second time he lifted as the tank hit and it disjointed it. That is something that is so difficult to do. People do it with like
It is.
shots.
However, it would have actually been better to just stay there and shoot the scatter, pretend to destroy the tank. So that was kind of like some epic non-shock kung fu kata that wasn't actually good. It was just really flashy.
Okay,
anyway, we got a drop
yeah.
at 12 o'clock. Another.
I am worried about these Reavers. He's okay.
Big hit
Another thing is the half damage now also one-shot SCVs. You're seeing that
Yeah,
these
exactly.
SCVs that are running away are taking damage.
So yeah, so the splash damage is buffed. It's essentially a buffed splash damage when you upgrade that, so they can't run away as well from you.
But it's not gonna. There's no. It doesn't impact the breakpoint for Marines or tanks.
No, if the unit is just standing there, you're still one-shotting Marines, you're still two-shotting tanks. It's only for splash when something isn't quite there.
No, but even then, the splash damage on Marines is 50 damage, which is.
Oh yeah, you're still gonna kill Marines with splash. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You
The
can
only-
never. Yeah.
The only thing that actually has a breakpoint on this is SCVs.
No, but it's
And I
also
get
tanks
medics.
running away, because you know when tanks run away, they take 3 scans
Yeah.
too. It will also help with that.
I'm so worried about these Reavers, but he's getting damage. I look at all these Marines and like, wait a second, the only thing you have to kill these Marines is a Reaver, and you're
Well,
flying
he's
around
really
in
good
their
at
face.
Reavers, but like the worker count is just. Oh, I mean, just look at it. You know.
Yeah, but you still have to kill all these Marines.
Yeah, but he's got what, 2
question
Reavers
is-
right now? 3 Reavers on the map?
Did he invest
Okay.
too much Reavers into the economy harass? That's
No,
the
I think it's
question.
good. I think it's good.
Yeah, so I didn't realize he had 2 more Reavers just waiting outside. Yeah, he has backup Reavers.
Just keep making Reavers and keep killing stuff.
Those Reavers he was losing were his. Reavers just aren't firing.
Oh, he's not shooting with the Reavers!
Oh!
Whoa,
The tank splash is doing work at least.
big mistake there from Dewalt.
Oh, he's got
Missing a lot
another
of
Reaver back
critical
then.
shots.
Yeah, I didn't realize he had another 2 Reavers outside to scan space. The Reaver he was harassing with was his 3rd Reaver, not his only Reaver.
But right now, he only has 2 Reavers. He should
He's
have
got
like
1.
6 Reavers right now.
He's only got the
He
1.
could actually die here.
Yeah.
Well, he's got 1 in the shuttle and 1 on the way from the main. So this is a little bit scary now.
He's
Lot
got a
scarier than
good
it should
flank at least with these Dragoons and speed dots.
That
So
he
Scan
does.
is scanning it, so
be. Oh yeah, cut off the reinforcements. That's smart. That's good.
yeah. And he's going to get a 360 surround. Oh, can't afford to lose that Reaver.
Losing the Reavers by killing
Also not
SCVs is
cutting
okay.
off reinforcements. He's just
Oh, he's
sitting
not.
there.
He was going to do it, but
Okay, now
now
he's
he's
doing
doing
it.
I was going to counterattack the
I
main.
would like to see some bunkers, odd enough. I mean, I know there's no SCVs to actually send because all the SCVs are dead, but like
It would have
bunkers
been
make
great.
Marines so much better against Reavers.
Yes. Tank,
Oh my
bunker, crawl. Oh, we got a counterattack. Huge counterattack. Wow.
He's actually
is-
going for the base trade, for the kill
This
move.
is so manly.
But then I want to hold him. I want him to hold his main base and not the natural.
Well, he can.
Go
He's-
up the trend.
They're so close together that he can get these Reavers back home if he needs them.
Yeah, he should probably go back with the Reavers now, actually.
Also, he can take an island. That's the other thing.
Yes!
Yeah,
Yes!
it's
I
like
love
the
the way you
base
think.
situation. He can just
Yes!
go, okay, yeah.
Refugee toss, go to the island.
Yeah, I would just take
The
the island.
Marines can go up.
Load his cover.
There's just one goon on top.
Dude,
of
if he
the
destroys
ramp.
the CCs and takes an island, the game is over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yikes.
Like, Scan will have to build a CC somewhere else and then float it. You can't float to an island. It's Terran, you're not allowed to.
Yeah, exactly. There's no way he's getting a dropship, so it's over if he just gets 1 probe onto the island right now.
Yeah.
He has some DTs coming too, and if that's another win condition. If he gets a DT out, since there are no CCs and
Yeah.
scanners, that's also a win condition.
Next level. Oh,
shit.
huge Reaver hit.
Here's the problem though. The DT is being made from a gateway in the front, but it looks like it might come out anyway.
No, the
That's
pylon's
going
going
to
to
be
get
it.
that. Actually, maybe the pylon on the right or the left is also powering
He
it.
needs to focus the pylon.
The DT is about to come out! It's still
Okay.
powered. It's still
Yeah,
powered.
he depowered it.
Did
but
he
there was another
cancel
pylon.
the DT?
He cancelled
What?
the DT.
Dude!
He,
No,
thought it was depowered.
Yeah, I know. He thought it was going to be unpowered. Oh, alright, well, it's over. Okay, good. Alright, whatever.
Okay, Dewalt making it, what, is it 3-4? Or is that for you?
Those are 3 wins. He won 3 games. Dude.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so it's 3-4. He's still
3-4.
behind, but he's making it into a series.
I told you, he's done it before, he can do it again.
I mean, Scan with the bio. I don't know about bio against Mass Reaver. Or at least I do know about bio against Mass Reaver, and I don't like it.
Right.
It's not that I don't have an opinion. I do have an opinion.
Yeah, I do know about it. Yeah.
It's not the same opinion as Scan has, apparently.
I mean, it was a desperation move. He just got picked apart by the drops. Really, I think the main thing that happened that game was he didn't seem to think that it was a fast drop, even though there were no Dragoons shooting the bunker, which suggests no range, and it was close by air, and he still went for like an FD. And when you go for any sort of push like that, Protoss can just harass you and then defend also at the same time.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he sent his entire army back by ground, because I feel like the retreat distance there is so long that it's not going to actually make much of a difference.
Yeah, since Protoss can harass you, I mean, Protoss is such an advantage. I don't know, it's just a losing proposition either way. Like, if you keep pushing, Protoss hits you in the base and then defends. If you go back, Protoss just harasses you and then leaves when you get back. So I think you just need earlier anti-air in close air positions like that when somebody doesn't go range. But once you're there, I guess you might as well commit and go for it, maybe. But like, then you're like trying to force your way up a ramp, and it's just like, I don't know.
Forcing your way up a ramp against rangeless Dragoon, so at least put down some mines on like the Nexus spot. Just do something to make it so he can't get it for free.
Yeah, mining that up would have been good. That's true.
Scan brought his entire army all the way back to his main and didn't leave it for another 10 minutes. And that is an overreaction to a drop, especially when your opponent has no Dragoon range.
Yeah, he didn't know though. He thought he had range, I think.
Yeah, I think Dewalt could have gotten range, honestly. I don't think it would have impacted his timing at all, but he did get range afterwards. And he had like 150, 150 floating for a lot of the time. So you look at it and think, well, if you... what would you actually be missing if you got range? Because he would have had his Reaver at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. So in this case, he would have essentially had everything anyway. Even speed wouldn't have been very delayed, maybe a little bit. But what he might have been doing is like some sort of option select where, depending on what he sees, he could go for a DT drop. And so he was saving the gas just in case, maybe.
Yeah, that's possible. Okay, Longinus 2.0.
This map, I feel, favors Scan. Because, like, shuttles are okay, but they're not amazing like on the other maps. Like on Python, they're insane. On Talkcross, they're insane. On Luna, they're insane, depending on the position. Here, they're just kind of okay, you know?
Okay, I was bad at StarCraft back when I played this. However, what I like to do on this is skip Robo and go straight into Arbiters. Because if you get free base double gas, you can do some huge speed lock goon plays while also doing double Stargate Arbiters.
The double gas is crazy, yeah. So many things you could do with that. You could go Mass Orbiter, like you said. You could go a ton of Templar with Storm everywhere.
And like once you get, if you can establish that third base and you can hold it, you get a bunch of map control early, and then you can go back for observers because you have all the gas in the world by that point.
Yeah, but don't you think you need a shuttle with Weavers to defend the base against Vultures? Because it's so far away, you have to travel, like, the Vulture's gonna snipe the probe, there's gonna be a mine on the base, etc.
Yeah, I mean, I was playing against quite passive Terrans back then. Terrans who would just do, like, they'd do a wall-in siege, take their natural, and then would float out a third to the, to the close mineral only.
It's good against that, but if he sees what you're doing and he goes for, like, Speed Vultures and, like, a dropship, I think you need a shuttle to counter the dropship. I
mean, I lost a lot of games back then as PvT, so what I'm doing is half the time I'm talking about a build that like leads directly into a loss.
Well, this is a viable 1-Rex expansion map. Let's see what Scan goes for. If he goes for the option select build again.
The 1015 is also a classic Londoners build because it's flat and you can get a lot of damage with those range goons.
Yeah, actual 2-gate goon. I mean, here's the thing, like, people think that those old builders aren't good anymore. But what people don't understand is that, like, people weren't dumb back then. The maps allowed for those builds. Like, if you look at this map, 2-gate is actually good on it. It's not like a ramped map or anything. It's like a flat map with a wide open choke.
Yeah, you can dominate the map with goons. You can, if they go for a wall, you can break it down. If they don't go for a wall, you can punish the bunker.
Right. In fact,
it
we
looks
even saw 2-gate goon from Bisu in ASL.
Looks like Scan is
on
going for
camera.
Gasless Expo.
Yeah, Gasless, again. He's doing the options quickly. Like, if a probe were to come in right now, he would abandon ship and would take the gas. But if there isn't a probe coming in, and if there is no Zealot, then he goes for it. So he's getting away with it this time, apparently.
I feel like Masgoon could punish this. Sure, you're going to keep the bunker alive, but you're going to keep the bunker alive with a lot of repair.
Yeah, 2-gate goon versus 1-Rax expansion on a map like this can actually be fine for Protoss because you do so much damage with so many Dragoons. He loses so much money, you can just double expand and be fine.
Okay, so he gets the first scout. He knows what he's up against. Straight into the goon. Okay,
yeah.
this is the goon range before goon. So this is not
Yeah.
going to be a goon rush. This is going to be a maximum damage on the bunker opening.
Right. Now, the question is, will he go for another gateway? I don't think so, because he's not cutting probes. So it's a
No,
bit late
he's
for that.
just going to go Nexus. So the reason
Right.
he went range before goon, though, is because he doesn't need the goon ASAP to defend against anything. He just wants
Right.
to get shots on the bunker.
Yeah, so might as well get that first. But overall, Scan is taking a risk and getting away with it. I mean, a proxy Zealot would have killed him, right? But he
Third
just...
pylon by Dewalt. So Dewalt is not going for a 20 Nexus.
Yeah,
Dewalt
he's
is
not.
going for maybe 3 goon Nexus, maybe just like an all-in.
This could be. It could be. Well, I guess it's a bit late for that. I was gonna say it could be like a robo at the front, but he would have had the pylon there by now. Already,
Yeah,
if you were going
but
to
this could be a robo just in his main. Just to go into some kind of harass or citadel for that matter. Because this doesn't
Yeah,
make
Citadel would
queuing
work.
up goons. He's not taking a Nexus. This is he's subjected himself to a large economic deficit, and the question is why.
Yeah, will he
And
expand
then-
now, or will he make a robo?
He is going to expand. I hate this. I really
Yeah,
hate
this is like, it doesn't really do anything well, you know? Like, if you go 10-15 and you really lay the pain on and then you expand, that works against this. If you go, I don't know, fast DT, if you go robo at the front with the Reaver, that works, but he's not really doing much of anything, you know?
We also
He's
see
not
a lot
expanding
of
for
gas
Gambit.
bank that is not being used here. Maybe he could have pulled out some probes out of gas or so to get the Nexus quicker, but he just has a gas bank now.
Yeah, huge gas bank.
And so he has delayed his Nexus a lot to get out a third goon, because that third goon needed its own pylon. So that's a 225 mineral goon. And you look at it and think, okay, what damage is this goon going to do? It's going to be one extra goon shooting a bunker. Okay, who cares?
Yeah, I mean, that's fine if you're going 2-gate 10-15, but it's not enough to even matter that much.
No,
And
it's
Scan
really
knows he's
expensive goon.
ahead, that's why he's getting the eBay. He knows if I just don't die right now, I'm in a decent position. He's gonna starport also.
And he's doing the trick with the Marines in the bunker again.
Right.
Yeah, they're just such an expensive dragoon. Like, it slowed down his Nexus. If you look at the lost mining time, that dragoon is actually costing him hundreds of minerals.
And it looks like behind this we have a Dark Templar drop follow-up, so that explains the gas bank.
Okay.
Yeah, he could do this just as easily with 2 dragoons. I don't think this was the opening. I think 23 next would just be stronger in every regard.
Well, we'll see how the DT drop goes. If he can snipe some turrets, could win the game. It's always a chance.
Now, as Dewalt, do you think you're worried about the lack of a tank? It's arriving now, but is this later or is this when you'd expect?
As Dewalt, there's nothing really weird going on. Nothing at all. He doesn't really know. There's no way to tell that there's a starport on the way. There's just... Unless, you know, by the time there would have been a second tank, but the Terran can just tank anyway, so there's really no way to tell.
Oh, Scan manually targeting the low dragoon, gets it down to 13 hit
Nice.
points.
Got a red Dragoon here. Nice.
That's the one he softened up with the Marines.
So we have DTs and a shuttle on the way, and we have Vultures and a dropship on the way. And
Yeah.
that's dangerous for Terran, because while you're microing your drop, you might lose your turrets by not paying attention. And in fact,
Yeah.
we don't even see any turrets in the main yet. Okay, now they're going down, so good.
Well, that
Scan get them as late as possible.
turrets against DTs, they will go down so quickly.
Yeah.
It's 5 hits.
and I don't think he's gonna place any defensive mines. He wants to just drop.
No
Yes, speed on the
observatory.
way.
Dewalt's going straight into Reaver. If there's any vultures with mines get into his base, he is in such trouble.
That's true. However, he went for speed instead of mine, so there won't be any mines. Because normally you expect an observer to exist. Alright, we got the DT drop coming in here. One undefended turret. That's all he has.
Yep, no academy. I mean, he can
This
do
could kill
do a turret creep from the other turret. But
Oh yeah, that's true. I suppose.
Yeah.
Alright, here we go. I'm gonna snipe the turret. Going for it. SCV trying to repair.
No amount of
Turret goes
SPs can keep a turret alive against DTs.
So already massive damage being done, but here we have the drop as well at 6 o'clock. Or, I mean, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, and he doesn't
being
see it. His
microed
units
yet.
are completely out of position.
1 probe. 2. I have to say though, the DTs are doing more damage. Just like
Yeah.
what I warned about, it happened.
Yeah, the DTs are doing. I mean, they are. The turret creep isn't even happening. He hasn't been able to do a slow push of turrets from his original turret. Academy's basically done, but in 29 workers versus 42.
Yeah.
Now the dropship has bought him some breathing space, but he didn't use it to get a turret up. He had time where the DTs went inactive, but
He also
didn't
didn't pull the
exploit
SUVs away correctly.
Oh,
he
Reaver's
just let them
arriving.
sit there while he was microing his vultures.
Yeah, there's a Reaver now. Reaver follow-up. Huge.
Yep. This is what, and also because he has the shuttle back, the Comsat's going to be way less effective. Oh, he's after the depots, but he's not targeting the right one.
No, he's not.
That armor is on fire.
One more
He
gear
just
up.
run out of steam.
Oh,
He
it
just born out.
There we go. Yeah,
okay.
this is game-winning damage. This is too much. There are DTs in the base. There are Reavers in the base.
Yeah. I mean, his macro has fallen apart completely behind this. The macro is not happening right now, but the
Our
+1
Razor's up.
armor is dead. +1's cancelled.
Oh, crazy. So
Another
finally,
depot-
the shuttle gets taken down by the Wraith, but still, the damage has been done.
We're about to see another depot burn down. 16 hit points.
Oh no! 10, 9.
Yep.
There we go. Rip.
Another
Rip the
tank.
depot.
Oh, he disjointed the Comsat.
Supply blocked.
His Comsat is he used his dying shuttle to jump the DT back
Oh,
in, disjoint
nice.
the Comsat, and now
Yeah.
the DT's gone back to work.
Huge damage.
Yeah, he's just maximizing the impact of this. I mean, he's been floating 1,000 minerals this entire time. However, it was worth it. He made the choice that his macro was going to fall apart, and then behind this he goes, okay, you know what? I have 1,000 minerals, 6 gate. So there's +1 coming,
Unfortunately-
he's added cannons.
So he was going to deny the third base with the Vulture, but he just didn't do it in time, so the Nexus got up.
Yeah.
He could have had a mine there and delayed it, because there's no observer yet.
And Scan's now
But
floating
missing that,
1,000 too.
unfortunately.
I mean, Scan's still on one factory. It's the thing.
Yeah, big yike.
And it's not one factory the way that Dewalt was on no gateways and then was able to fix it. This is oh, mine. He doesn't even get the mine hit. He deserved that mine hit. He's taking
He's
so
just
much
walking across the
punishment.
map with no observer.
Yeah.
He just knows, like, no fear.
Well, I mean,
That's-
the vultures have been laying mines in the base this entire time. He knows where the vultures were. He killed them.
Yeah, exactly, because he knew there was only one factory, and
Yeah.
he knew there weren't any more Vultures. So just go for
Yeah.
it. He's just going for the farm right now. He's going to kill
And then comes 2 Reavers. Two Reavers. Like, calm down, Dewalt. He's already dead. Like, you don't need to do this.
So, next game is the final game, right? Whoever wins next
Yeah, this is 4-4.
wins the best. Yeah, he wins the set. So the Wolf could actually win the set against
I mean,
Team
I
It
think losing with 4 wins is still super respectable. Even
I
if it
mean,
was-
obviously it's great, but it would be
Yeah.
epic if he actually won.
Yeah. I mean, Scan's in the ASL. This is...
Yeah, I know, but he's done it before. Like, the Wolf keeps beating pro gamers. He keeps beating Koreans. Like, he beat Shine, beat Scan, he beats... I know he beat a third guy, I just can't remember who it was.
I was
But
just
you
saying,
have
Scan isn't like a top amateur anymore. Scan is... He's made it.
Oh,
Scan
Scan
is-
is...
Yeah.
No, he's... I mean, he's TSL, so it's like...
Yeah.
That's like being in the OSL, basically, at this point.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Scan is not just like a good Korean. Scan is like one of the best Koreans. He's
Right.
like top 20.
Also, Shine beat Flash, and Dewalt beat Shine, so Dewalt basically beat Flash.
That is how it works.
yes, it is.
Okay, this hype 4-4. I mean, some of Dewalt's wins haven't been like the fairest games, I would say. Like some of his strategies have been.
You would say that there is some Protoss scum.
I mean, I wouldn't call it scum, but at the same time, he's not doing like 20-minute no rush builds. Except on Reverse Temple, where he did do a 20-minute no rush build, and Scan dishonored him with a push.
No, but honestly, with the speed shuttle play, he's just outplaying. Like on Python, for example, that was just pure outplaying. That was just one guy playing with better fundamentals than the other. No tricks, nothing.
I mean, his Reaver play has been fantastic throughout. Game 1, we saw him just dismantle the tank push on Tower Cross with the Reaver. He just goes, oh, you've got these Marines? Yeah, Scarab into them. Vultures, I'll Scarab those as well. Oh, you've only got tanks left? Goons are going to clean that up. Done.
So at this point, the TVP metagame, it's kind of good for Protoss right now, where in the previous era, it was like a little bit good for Terran, where Terran had like 60% on all the maps, and you had like ridiculous situations where like Terran got the third base before Protoss. It was insane, it was disgusting. But now, it's kind of good for Protoss. Terran has to deal with this problem of speed shuttles, where if you walk out, you get counterattacked. If you overinvest in defense, you fall behind. It's very difficult, and Scan just hasn't really been able to do it so far.
Yeah, I mean, some of his answers have been just to try and pressure him, but Dewalt's either just dismantle the push with the Reaver, or as we saw in Python, he just says, actually, I don't have a natural, it's fine. You can push me if you like, there's nothing there to push.
Right, but then, I mean, you're going for the Reaver anyway, which was traditionally the counter to pushes. So, like, you can't really expand, you can't really turtle. It's difficult.
So this being this is a two-player map with some very good proxy locations. Do we think there's going to be any shenanigans?
He certainly could go for it. This is another good shuttle.
First probe runs out.
Early probe, yeah.
So the map is match point, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And like match point, there's a lot of elevator options. You can do like a robo at 6 o'clock and do like the fastest possible Reaver drop. Or
speed shuttles and vehicles are great, but you know what? If Terran gets to split map, he just wins. Like you can literally sit in your base and nuke the only mining base of Protoss from your main. It's disgusting if you get to that point.
There's a big okay, so Dewalt's going fast expand. This might be Gaston into fast expand, but he's not quite building a gateway. And
Scan was going for he's going for the delayed barracks to be more economical.
This is just they're both going for like 20-minute no rush build. That was interesting. So Scan sent an SCV, I think, but it got stuck. Okay, that's Scan was sending it to build a barracks. Because if he sent it to gas, it would have drilled through.
Yeah, he let the opponent steal his gas. He really could have taken it without really slowing himself down at all. He wouldn't have slowed on the barracks timing, but he just let him take it.
I was looking at how his SCV got stuck on a second SCV and didn't move, but that was because he was not going towards the gas.
Yeah, he wasn't trying. If he had wanted to, he would have gone for it for sure.
Yeah. Now Scan here is looking for proxies. I think he's this scout here is because he knows it's a two-player map. It's a gas deal. There could easily be proxy 99, and that's part of the reason why that he checked his minnow only, because that's where they would have been.
Especially when you're going for a delayed barracks like this to get more money, you will just die to a proxy gateway. So he checked for that to make sure he was alive.
Single Zealot by Dewalt. I don't know about this.
It's a Blue Storm build again. Gas steal into one gate expansion.
Yeah, I guess it's for the eBay potential.
But wouldn't Nexus First just have been better?
I mean, Nexus First is always better.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, you scout so fast that you basically know if it's safe to go for it. You steal the gas. I guess maybe you will die to like a 2 racks SCV all in, especially if they hide one barracks.
Probe and SCV fighting to the death, but the Zealot arrives to save his buddy.
So yeah, I mean, I can sit there and say, like an Archer General, that Nexus First is better, but if he does that, then Scan goes 2 racks all in, I guess. That might be one.
I like Dewalt's position a lot. He's got a good Nexus timing. Scan's got no gas potential. Scan's going for his own CC, but
yeah.
I think Dewalt has just got the better of the openings. This is
the main thing is that the gas is so delayed. I agree.
Yeah, and that Dewalt's gas wasn't delayed in return, because I know that sometimes Terrans will go for their own gas steal in this situation.
Right, but that didn't even happen.
Yeah, Dewalt's going to be able to get his robo in a decent time, and also he's on 2 base. And it looks like Scan's going to lose the Scout SCV early as well. Now that Scout SCV should not have been dying before there was a Dragoon out. But if he can kill it, then it changes the situation dramatically, because the question is what happens after the core. If it's core into Dragoon range, standard. If it's core into some kind of proxy shenanigans, that is a completely different game for Scan, and he needs to know which one it is. Okay, yes, Zealot coming in at the natural. Is it going to kill anything? Nope. Zealot just
wow. Zealot just getting dominated here. The walk of shame backward.
Yeah, but that meant the Marines weren't shooting the assimilator. It's
Exactly. Yeah,
Fourth
that's
is
why it's
away.
so annoying. That's why you send the seventh fourth.
Okay, if Scan can get this SCV back in around the time the core finishes, that's going to be huge because Dewalt has the money to go Robo immediately. He can just go 200-200 Robo done.
He does. He could do anything. He could go DT. Everything is going to be so weak for Terran because the gas is
That's
so
exactly
delayed.
what he does. He skips the Dragoon.
Yeah, Robo.
See,
I think
if
that's fine.
If this was a 60 HP SCV, I think it's still running laps around the base with SCVs with Zealots chasing it.
Yeah, because there is no Dragoon, and
Yeah.
it's very opportunistic of the Dewalt to go for this rangeless build order now.
Well, I don't think Scan should ever let him get away with this.
I agree. That's a mistake. That's a straight up mistake.
Okay, we see a quick academy. Are we seeing this for scans, or are we seeing this for Medic?
That's a good question. I would have to imagine scans, but he did try to go for +1/5 racks earlier, so could do it again.
Yeah, I think that's a build you do when you're up in a series, though. That's not a build you do when it's 4-4.
Yeah, this is the final game, and Dewalt really has a good shot of taking this so far.
Yeah, Dewalt adding a second gateway, still no Dragoon range. Dewalt doesn't like Dragoon range, apparently.
Oh, he just wants to go for fast shuttle speed, dude. Like, well, think about it. If you're not going to fight with the Dragoons, then the later you get it, the better.
Well, I mean, this is the same situation as Python. Python, you were absolutely right at the start to talk about how the close by air situation was going to play out. This is a different...
Yeah, you know, he only won that game because he could go back and pick up a second Reaver, which he will not be able to do in this game. However, in this game, he got the gas.
So, Scan hasn't even seen the late Goon range. He hasn't
he
allowed a Goon to shoot at any of his SCVs. This is... Okay, he has Scan, though. I'm going to turn off Dewalt's vision to see what Scan has seen. His Scan, that's about to finish. Let's see what he hits. He has 2 comsats. They both finished. He needs to know something.
You know, he might be saving. He doesn't know if it's a DTs too, so he's probably saving some because he lost the game, remember, by using a scan. So he's probably going to save them, which means he's going to be surprised by this Reaver, this very fast Reaver with very fast shuttle speed.
Yeah. And the Dragoon range is coming behind it. I mean, there's also this 2-gate Goon, so I feel like this could easily be a Reaver harass in the main, pulls the defense away, and then it just jumps in the bunker.
For sure, yeah, for sure. And you know, he has no anti-air. He doesn't even have an armor yet.
The army is about to finish. He hasn't used either of his scans. He is saving the energy. He has 2
so he's not going to be ready for this.
Each. He's seen also now there's no Dragoon range. The Dragoon should have been on the bunker.
Yeah, you see him putting 4 SCVs at the bunker, expecting Dragoons to come in, but there is not even any range.
Yeah, he's waiting for a Dragoon.
He's playing blind. He has to, he doesn't know.
He's playing blind with 2 scanners. This is painful.
Well, you don't want to scan because it could be DTs, you know? He just doesn't know because he lost that SCV early.
He sees the observatory, and he scans immediately. He scans
Dude, you know what? He might think this is carriers at this point. You know what I mean? Because it's so late for that.
He saw the support bay with his first
yeah, he saw the support. So he probably thinks it's a Reaver into carrier. He thinks it's +1 air.
And here comes the first shuttle. Oh, lovely start on the Marine. That was good.
Yeah, 2 Marines go down. Very good.
This is such a... Oh, he finds the spot where the scab jumps. That's such a difficult spot to harass because the scabs will just bug out all the time, but he can jump it if he fires it right.
You gotta be right next to the mineral so that it spawns in the mineral, and then it will mineral walk over to the enemy. You know, just hug the minerals and shoot through it. That's how you do it, essentially.
I'm surprised he doesn't get more damage. I think he's waiting for the speed, though, before he tries again.
Yeah, right. He's gonna go in now with speed. And he's going to find some unfinished turrets. And a third base behind us.
These Dragoons are very defensively positioned. Like, he could...
Yeah, he could threaten a frontal attack. I agree. He should.
Yeah.
That would be great, actually, like you talk about.
Yeah,
Instead, he's just kind of flying around with the shuttle, picking some stuff off, which is fine, but it could do so much more.
Yeah, I mean, he's developing an advantage here. He's going, okay, this harass is good. I've got shuttle speed. I can play around here. I can take a third base. This is how I would expect him to play against a player of equal skill. It's actually, he's giving Scan an awful lot of respect here. He's not trying to do anything risky to close out the game. But I feel like maybe he should try and do something.
Well, we're sitting here with map pack. We know he has an opportunity. We know there's only 1 tank at the front.
Okay.
He's moving out now.
Yeah, he's moving out now. He's got, 10 Dragoons and a Zealot, plus the speed up, plus the shuttle. I feel like if he tries to fire the shuttle into the main, that's going to go badly. Oh, the Goliath's move. Goliath's move at the last second.
He's going in. He's flying into the bane.
Oh,
and at the same time, Dragoons to the front.
Here they come.
Attack. So the frontal attack is going very well.
Yeah, no SCVs in the bunker. Bunker's going to go down.
And the shuttle and the Reaver actually were just destroyed, which he did not need to. That was a bit unnecessary to lose that.
Yeah, but even so, the bunker going down, he's going to lose control of the natural. There's so many goons here. He's going to have to do a siege creep back out to his
Yeah.
natural.
But I think he's fine. I mean, had the Reaver been around, it would have been a different
Just have
story.
like
But
5 tanks.
Dewalt is macroing solidly behind. The Citadel's done. He's on his way to Archives. He's got 4 gateways.
yeah.
He's got a 3rd base. This is such a good position. Okay, now Scan starts scanning. Scan's like, okay, wait a second. I need to know where I'm at. What's going on? Identifies that he's down a base. At least he knows that Dewalt doesn't have 12 o'clock yet. But, I mean, he's scanning, but he's only seeing bad news. He scans his opponent base and goes, okay, wait a second. You're ahead on economy. Your tech's where
I had on everything, literally.
You've got a bigger army. Oh!
Yeah, he's ahead on everything, except upgrades. Alright, he's gonna harass the army.
Yeah,
One scarab.
He can't lose this Weaver.
2 scarabs. Boom.
I think
One
he's
tank goes
going
down.
to fight.
3 scarabs.
Yeah.
This
and
is
now,
huge for the
Yeah,
wall.
the tank count's gone.
This
He
is
needs
huge.
these tanks.
He needs
If
to
he
focus
loses-
the tanks.
It doesn't matter. He's
Yeah.
lost so many tanks now that there's no push timing behind this. There's only 2 machine shops.
The micro wasn't perfect, but it was good enough. The
Yeah.
decision was perfect, and the micro was good enough, essentially.
Yeah, because at this point, okay, Scan has 6 pack. He can flood vultures, but the vultures are just going to trade. Flooding vultures doesn't do anything when your opponent has how many gateways? 4, 5, 8 gateways. It's the tanks that actually kill them. You don't have the tanks, you can't kill them. What
got
happens if you
Scythe
shuffle
Storm now,
Weaver?
anyway.
Okay, it's back in the natural.
Yeah. And he's not going to go Arbiter, he's going to go for Storm Drops after this.
I like
which is
that.
very good, very modern,
Yeah.
you know.
And also, it's a good way of capitalizing on the tech he already has.
Yeah, sure. It's just good, you know. The Terran's going to be low on gas. Just keep storming the tanks over and over. It's good.
Yeah. I feel like Scan has to make a move here, but I don't know if it's going to work, because he's got to take a high ground against, like, all of these gateways. Psystorm, Viva, buying time, speed lots.
Right. Well, the
I would
classic
like to
thing
see
to do...
adding more gateways, though. I think 8 gateways is not enough. He's got... Because
Yeah, like 4 gateways per base, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I was going to say, the moment you expand, you need to add the gateways then, because otherwise you forget.
Yeah,
He
he
needs
needs
to
to
go for split map.
It's something I've been training myself to do is, when I expand gateways, just
Yeah.
at the same time, just because even if I don't have the money, otherwise I will get in a position where my money just gets too high as the base kicks in.
So Scan is just preparing to go for more upgrades and to take another base.
Yeah.
He knows
I mean,
he can't push.
Yeah, I agree with the decision. He's also getting a dropship, which I quite like. But I think it's good that he's identified that he's lost too many tanks. The push timing doesn't
Yeah.
exist anymore.
Right.
And he's going to deny the expansion at the bottom right. That's huge.
Indeed.
He's also
Yeah, that is a sweet move.
placed the mine at 12 o'clock at the same time. He knows that. Oh, and this vulture could do a lot. There's only 1 cannon.
Yeah, they can actually destroy the cannon. But there are some units there, but if they respond. Bolts run by? No. Dewalt is doing well, but he needs to take a 4th base to really cement his advantage.
Yeah, he could double expand right now. He hasn't seen the command center, so he doesn't know if his opponent's all in. But it's so his shuttle dropped off the Reavers. Now it's picking up High Templar. It picked up the High Templar first, which is a mistake because you want the shuttles work first in, first out.
Yeah, exactly. Sort of when you press unload, you can control which unit comes up.
Yeah.
Now, if he wants to do that, he'll have to manually click on the Zealot.
I think he saw the dropship. Look at this Dragoon movement.
Oh, he's about to intercept it, maybe? No. Yes?
Yeah, he saw it. Yeah, his
Yeah, he
dropship
can.
went to the Coastal Reaver. The dropship, and at the same
Oh,
time as this, he's doing a
days.
storm drop, and even though it's first in, first out, storm drop still
the
does
storm
value.
up 10 SCVs.
One of those has 70. Okay, he's not going to get the second storm, I think. But picking off the dropship is huge, anyway.
Yeah, and a good storm drop to boot. That was a great drop.
And he did those at the exact same time. That was really nice multitasking.
Yeah, it was. That was great.
Also, Scan pulled his STVs immediately.
We have
while
another
also
storm drop
right
at the
his
natural
dropship.
of Scan.
Oh, I love it.
He's just going for it again.
I mean, why wouldn't you? You've got speed shuttle.
1 Templar gets sniped. Okay, alright.
Okay.
Well,
Oh, wow.
That's why you wouldn't,
it
I guess.
happens.
So double upgrade coming from Scan. Dewalt might be on the clock. He is only now establishing his 4th base. There's no 5th base coming.
Yeah, but he's like 80 psi ahead, dude. Like, look at all
Yeah.
these units, man. Look at all these units.
Yeah, but he does need to actually end the game, is what I'm saying.
But he's not going into anything late game. He's not going into carry. He's not going into arbiter. So
Yeah, that's why I'm worried about him. I look at this and say, okay, so you're not going to kill the Terran. So what are you going to
He
do?
is going
You've got
for
all
the
this
kill
supply.
move now. No, he's going for the kill move now, I think, when
Okay,
Terran wants
yeah.
to take the third base
He
just
should.
now.
This is his peak. Because right now all he has is gateway units, but he's about to max out, and then you don't get any stronger.
A frontal attack like this when you're ahead on food with Storm is great, and luckily we do see a shuttle popping out. It's going to pick up 2 Templar, so we'll have 2 Storms ready to go. You could have
But I
had
have
4
to say it's
Storms.
a little bit risky. I want him to take the 12 and 6 right now, but
Yeah,
he's not doing it. So he's putting his life in this attack, actually. If this fails, Scan is back into the game.
Yeah. On the other hand, if he doesn't go for this attack, he's got this huge supply advantage. That
Yeah,
he's
he
not
must
using.
attack now. Yes, he must.
Yeah, because he doesn't have anything behind this. That's what worries me.
Yeah, that's
He
why I'm
can't-
saying
yeah.
he should take like 2 or 3 expansions with the
I
army.
completely
here,
agree,
no?
actually. Completely agree. He should be taking 12 right now. He just doesn't have the APM
Okay,
to like
go
make sure
time.
there aren't any mines in. But here we go.
Reavers aren't even going to be involved.
Oh, he's going to storm the SCVs. Maybe?
He's storming
Or
the tank.
No? Okay, he's storming a tank. 2 tanks go down, and some... No? Okay. He's storming tanks right now, but he's doing okay.
Oh, 73 energy.
Yeah,
74
one storm
energy.
coming up.
Come on, show me the
The
storm. There we
Reavers
go.
too showing up. Yeah, he just has
Yeah.
too much.
That should be it.
So, yeah. This is looking pretty,
Dewalt
pretty
is
rough.
best player in the world. We always suspected it.
He's not going to get a CC though, is he? He's not
Doesn't
really
matter,
macroing
he's
right
killed
now.
70
Oh. Okay.
Dude,
Just
he didn't get the
enough.
CC.
I think this did enough. This
It's
wasn't
good,
the
but he
disaster.
could have destroyed CC and really taken the game, you know?
Yeah.
But now, is the game really over? Not really.
It's not over, but
I think it's closer than before, to be honest.
so
I
what
think
I
it
was
failed.
terrified of was there's no arbiter, no carrier.
And
If
no
Dewalt
5th
sits
base.
there on 200 and waits, then he loses. If he does a bad attack and doesn't trade anything, he loses. However,
Okay, he's
what
taking
he's done
6
is he's reset the situation, and by doing so, he's bought himself time.
It was
He
okay,
said-
but yeah, he just really needed to get that CC, I think. But he's taking 6 o'clock right now, so that's good. He's taking a base.
Yeah.
At least.
Like the disaster scenario is that Dewalt's on like 5k minerals, 200, and Scan is getting his upgrades. But that, as I said, that's not happening anymore.
The main base is about to mine out for Scan, which will put... Oh, we got a storm drop in the natural. Taking out just a few SCVs, not that many. But denying mining time.
And Scan going for a 4th.
And
So
Scan
the CC
denying the 5th base of Protoss.
Yeah. I'm surprised that Dewalt
Guys,
didn't,
this could
try
go
to
to a split map.
Yes, and then Terran will win.
Yeah, Terran will win the split map. I'm really not sure that Dewalt is not taking Scan's half here early on. He
Yeah.
had the army advantage. He had to take the top of the map, and both of them, the top left, the Scan.
I
fourth
agree.
base,
I mean,
basically.
take it.
It's too late to go carriers now. The carriers right now would do nothing. He could still go arbiters. Scan gets a scan on 12 o'clock. I think some vultures are going to go there and delay that in a second too. Okay, another storm drop attempt. It's immediately taken out. Does nothing.
Yeah, these
These
storm drops
have
aren't
stopped
really...
working. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 SCVs.
I mean, at this point, the scan goes, okay, that's how you're planning on killing me. Okay, I will build 5 turrets per mineral line, and it's worth it.
For sure.
Okay, Dewalt's up to 70 supply advantage again. Dewalt could just try another frontal attack. The
Dewalt
upgrades
is on
are
2 base,
worse
by
than they
the
were.
way.
Problem with the frontal attacks now is that he lost so many Templar with these failed drops. He could have like 4 more Templar right now, which would be amazing.
Yeah, and also the upgrades. Just as the game progresses, the situation just gets worse for him. Okay, he's going to clear away the turrets. Go on, pick up that
So,
Reaver.
12 o'clock being taken for the Waltz. That's good. It's a 2-base Terran right now versus a 3-base Protoss. Which is actually, I mean, not unplayable for Terran, but he's going to have to go for a frontal attack
I
again.
think Scan is getting back into this really hard, because once Scan gets 3-2,
Yeah,
the
3-2,
gateway
yeah.
army for Dewalt is going to stop working.
It's
You
going to be
can't get into this
3-2
situation.
versus 2-1. He's so far ahead on upgrades.
Well, frontal
And the
upgrades
upgrades
do
are better
nothing
anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
frontal
and the
upgrades
upgrades
do
are better anyway.
Yeah. This is
Can he attack before the upgrades finish? We see the upgrades in the top left. The attack of Scan
Yes.
is not done, and he's
we
flying
go.
in.
oh, this is a lot of
Can he
speed
get
shadows.
storms?
No,
No
high
storms
tempo
so far.
flying.
Oh, all the high
Here we go,
Templars
big storms.
focus.
Okay, there we
Okay.
go. This is what we're after.
Some storms.
Yeah, just resetting the tank count a bit is huge too. Oh, Scan was manually targeting some
Scan
high
holds
Templar
though.
there. Yeah.
Overall,
Yeah.
that was actually good for Scan.
Yes.
Well, I
once
think
again.
that just lowering Scan's army supply is fine, honestly. Because Scan at some point needs to push out and take his high ground.
But
And
he's
if you
doing
can
that
keep-
now.
If you can
He
keep
can
knocking
doing
him down,
it now, yeah. He's not knocked down. That's a problem. He will just take his fourth now. He lost like 4 tanks in this attack. That's it.
yeah, there were some really nice D-matrices there.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah,
So,
third
uh,
base
in my
of
head, I was
Dewalt will
acting
run
like
out soon.
Dewalt had like 12 and 6 and had infinite money, so he could remax. But yeah, Dewalt isn't remaxing.
Yeah, he didn't expand aggressively enough.
Yeah,
keep doing this.
because like you can do that kind of trade where you knock them down to like 110 supply, you go down to like 110, and then you remax, and that's fine. But Dewalt doesn't have the remax part.
Yeah, he doesn't.
This part of the situation where you knock them down.
Yeah, you really
and,
want to be doing that on
remax.
4 bases, but he's been doing it on 3 for a while now. So Scan is making the comeback, boys.
I mean, 3-2 is done.
Yeah,
You can't fight a 3-2
Dewalt
on
was
the
so
ground.
close.
He just
Dewalt went
didn't
for the
give
kill
himself a late
move,
game.
but couldn't
Yeah.
kill.
Got a storm drop at the top left, but Scan is there. He's ready for it, seems like. Like he expects it.
Just there's no late. Protoss can't win without
So here's the drop at the top left. See what he can do.
arbitral carriers in the late game. I like dropping the zealots on top of the SCVs.
Well, it's like this. Protoss can't beat a maxed out Terran without the arbiters and carriers. But if Terran never maxes out, you can win with just Zealot or Wind Temper all game. But that
Yeah.
requires taking, like, you gotta be in 4 bases, even 5 bases, you know?
And you got to constantly knock the Terran back down.
Yeah.
If the Terran maxes, you're in trouble. So you take bad trades over and over because you have the money.
Because
to
you have more
remax.
money, exactly.
Yeah.
But he didn't have more money this game. He didn't
Yeah,
have 12 and
exactly.
6.
Yeah, that is exactly right. He didn't set up his win condition. He was playing for the knock Terran down over and over play, but he didn't have the economy behind it, and he didn't have anything else. This is unfortunate. I think Dewalt's going to be kicking himself after this. And now it's just too late. It's 3-2. It's
Yeah, with nothing on the way, no anything really. Nothing we can, like no carriers,
yeah, it's not like
no
he just
recall potential.
Yeah.
That he still didn't take 6 at this point is. Really
Yeah, he
difficult.
really needs to have 6.
But now it's too
Denying
late.
that base from Scan was huge.
Yeah. It just a few vultures is all that took to deny it.
We got a drop at the top left, but it's just Zealots and a Templar.
I'm worried about these tanks in the middle. If the drop hit those tanks, that could be some really good storms.
Yeah, that could be pretty good. I agree. That would have been better actually than this base up here.
Yeah, those tanks are.
But he's
completely
gonna make the vultures go up there and then he's gonna attack at the front. So that's what he's trying to do. But the vultures react in time. They're so
Yeah, but
fast.
there's
Does
no
he
speed
have
shuttle
enough zealots in the front now?
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't have any Zealots.
Yeah, if the
No
speed
damage.
shuttles were on top of those, that would be so much damage.
Yeah, go to the
Okay,
top
this,
left.
this
to
high
fake the
template
drop.
is only now casting.
Yeah. Yeah, he should have gone
Yeah.
to the top left to fake the drop, then drop on attacks.
That
would have
just
been the play.
didn't do the damage he was after. Okay, so Scan to mine that as natural. It is 3 bases to 2, but Dewalt's about to mine that as men alone.
It's
so
actually
gonna be
2 base
bases
versus
to
2 essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be
Yeah,
a few seconds,
third base that's mined out. Yeah.
And these tanks are just
Yeah.
so beefy. Also, this D-Matrix use has been fantastic. The front
Yeah, it's
tank
been
has been D-Matrixed in basically every fight. Okay, Dewalt has to win this fight. There's no observer.
I think we'll see the GG now, maybe.
If there's a really
Ooh,
good
that's
storm,
Luther's
but it looks
army.
like Scan's going to target them. High Templar does get to cast a storm. Okay, that's huge. So he didn't manage to pick up that
Okay.
one off. Yeah, if he picks up that High Templar, I think it's a different fight. But this is at least enough for Dewalt to stay in the game. And then here comes another round.
And now Scan is actually ahead in supply.
Yeah, and also with the workers, he's up like 30 supply.
Okay, he's not ahead, but yeah.
Well, that's the same with the work. Dewalt has 20 more workers. Scan's got more army.
Yeah.
This High Templar at the top left has no. It's just the High Templar's a bluff. It's got no energy. It's just pretending. Okay, shuttle's coming in. First High Templar casts its storm. Second one casts its storm. He saves the base.
But it won't
Yeah,
cost.
but he can't hold on to this base. He
Losing
really
all the
can't.
units again.
Yeah. He's only
Six
now.
o'clock
He's,
gets mad again.
On the
yeah,
high
he's still
ground there.
spending probes just one at a time to 6 o'clock going, I wonder if there's still a vulture there. Oh yeah, there is. Like, send a goon and observer, buddy.
Yeah, but then when it sends one goon, the goon's just gonna take out by like 10 vultures. Like, there's really no easy solution here.
Well, yeah, but sending probes one at a time suddenly isn't working.
He tried to send 2 DTs first, but there were too many mines, so he didn't clear it out.
Yeah, he's not sending an observer. He's only got the one robo, I think, is part of the issue. He hasn't had very many observers this game because he's building shutters constantly. Oh, there goes the shuttle with High Templar. This game's done.
No.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, game's over.
But you were completely right, MasterRey. The reason he didn't win is that he didn't expand aggressively enough when he had the advantage.
And
Had
he
done that,
had
could've
the
won.
money the whole time. He
Yeah.
had the money.
Oh, there were vultures delaying it. It's just he had enough units.
There were,
that
yeah.
He could do both.
It's not as simple as just deciding to expand, because the Dewalt did decide to expand. It's just that the vultures were too annoying. They sniped the probe. You know, they were there, blocking.
I would have loved to have seen a second robo. He had so many shuttles, and like these vultures that were doing so much work. I wonder if they do as much work if there's observers on the map.
Well,
like-
you can always hotkey your robo and just spam observers all the time.
Well, you can, but not if you're going like 50 shuttles the way the Dewalt has.
Yeah, that's true. I know, he was always remaking shuttles.
Yeah, like every single fight he loses 5 shuttles, and every single fight he has 5 more shuttles.
Yeah, and that's true. That's why he couldn't expand. You're right.
Yeah, he had no observers. Single robo. Oh, no, he does have double robo. Never mind. Talking nonsense.
Yeah, he actually does. Huh. Yeah, I mean, he could have had more observers for sure. He could have had more, and he needed that more.
Maybe he added the second robo late. Because, like, yeah, these vultures were doing far more work than they should have. We saw him try and take 6 o'clock just by running DTs into the minefield until there were no mines left. Like, that's not how you take an expansion.
Yeah. Remember when he had the Reavers with the frontal attack? Imagine those Reavers taking an expansion instead. Would have been worth way more than joining the front. Because 2 Reavers at an expansion can defend versus Infinity Vultures.
Dewalt wants to go for the expansion trade here, killing the top left and reducing scan to no gas space left, and then somehow win the game from there, but I don't think he will be successful.
You got to win it with mind control.
The problem right now is...
Oh, mind back on the SCVs.
Yeah, SCVs doesn't matter, expansions matter.
Distance mining the bottom left, 6 o'clock at this fight.
Scan can just space drain because he has more units.
Yeah. Oh, that's a nice storm. I'm not sure why Dewalt's building more zealots, given that all he has is... he needs to hold this one location. Oh, now it's a nice storm on the tanks too. CC's going down.
Yeah, these are good moves. He just doesn't have enough.
We need
moves though.
gateways
Oh, High
in
Templar
the-
just rallying into the vultures.
in the middle somewhere.
Please cast some storms with those, please. Please. Okay, never mind. It's not going to happen. Just his High Templar coming out of the gateway, he's just running into vultures over and over. Okay, and it's 1 mining base against 0. I think that Scan has a bit more money coming in, I guess. It doesn't matter because the gateways are gone, but still.
No. Does he still have High Templars out on the map?
He has 1 in a shuttle that just picked off one of the sand vessels. And there's a tank drop
I mean,
coming in. At the
Scan
bottom.
has no mining, right?
Tank drop is at 6 o'clock. That's going to deny 6.
Ah, okay. That's tricky.
And there's vultures coming in too. Also, these probes against +3 armor. Good luck.
Especially with vultures.
Well, the probes are just doing no damage. They're just tickling.
Ah, man.
And that's
He
PvT
was
for
so
you.
close.
PvT, if the Terran is upgrading, you have to play like you're either going to close it out soon or you're going to get into arbiters or carriers. And carriers
The
when they're not
style would have
getting
worked
any
though,
upgrades.
had he expanded. It really would have worked.
Well,
The
one
battering
thing,
ram style.
one thing that to notice, this is a 2-player map. If
Yes.
this was Polypoid and he does this, he takes another main. He probably takes 2 other mains. He builds a bunch of gateways at each main. He's fine. On 2-player maps, when you play this style, you always have to be asking yourself, which other main do I plan on taking here? Where am I going to build my second 20 gateways? How am I going to get my 8 bases? Because there are 8 bases on this map.
Yeah,
I
he
feel
needed
like-
12 and 6, but he never took 6, dude. Never.
But he took it
Even
once
the
and
top
had a
left
vulture
would be
cancel it,
fine.
but- Yeah.
Or I mean,
But-
took it at the end. Yeah, yeah.
No, he also took it early, and then had a like 5 vultures come in and cancel it.
I know he got denied. He never managed to get it until it was too late.
Yeah.
But he should have literally taken 12-6 and then even make cannons at top left. Even start taking that base. I'm serious. It actually
Yeah.
works.
But I don't like this style on 2-player maps. Is I guess what I'm trying to get at, because this style here, you need to like get map control, expand pressure constantly. And part of it is that when the Terran finally pushes, they have to push in 2 directions because you have gateways in 2 locations.
Right.
And when you do this on 2-player maps, I don't think it's anywhere near as strong. I don't think this is a good style for 2-player maps.
No, it's
because-
not as strong. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
It's not. But here's the thing. So he went for the shuttles early game, and the shuttles are strong on this map because of the terrain and the main. And the shuttles set up this next stage. So even though the map was bad for the second stage, the map was good for the first stage. It was so good that the second stage could still have worked.
Yeah, just if
Better
behind you
execution.
spend 100 on +1 air, for example. And then that way you can add a fleet beacon, Stargate, get your +2 air, and then later on you can transition to carriers if you want.
Yeah, he actually was spending a lot of gas on storm drops that weren't working, that he should have spent on frontal attacks to get even more ahead. That, and he should have expanded more. And had he done that, he actually would have been so ahead that he could have, A, like you said, gone for carriers, or B, not even have had to go for carriers. He just kept going for the battering ram.
And carriers are so
Also,
strong on this map.
he again used his stuff that he had his army for 2 different things. One for the harassment on the economy on the SCVs, but the SCVs don't matter so much if you're limiting the Terran to 2 bases early on for a long time, and then the main is basically mined out when the Terran has a 3rd base. So the SCV count is not that important, and then at the same time he goes for the fight against the army while not having those high Templars because he used them for harassment. So he again tries to use some parts of his army, the Templars, for economic harass that isn't really that worth it, and also he's using the other part of the army for a frontal attack against the army of the Terran. And that's against a little bit like winning on 2 fronts. This is a problem.
Had those storms been in the main fight, that would have been a game changer for sure.
Yeah, he would have had like 4 more storms. The first storm drops are good, when he got like 10 SCVs, that was good. But then the second ones weren't. The later ones weren't.
We can't take anything away from Dewalt for this series. I mean, 5-4 against Scan, who's a top Korean. That's absolutely incredible.
And every game, he had a real chance of winning. Every single game.
Yeah, I mean, he opened the series with Tower Cross, where he just completely dismissed Scan's push, started harassing him, and then it was only because the Vultures managed to get through his wall that he fell behind.
The only
Like,
game he was really like smashed, outplayed in, the only one was the one on Luna, where he just could not deal with the early mines into 2-fact.
Yeah, he threw away Dragoon for nothing, and then his Dragoon got out of position. Missed his observatory timing because he was busy microing. It just all fell apart.
You guys did a fantastic job. Thanks so much for casting these great games. The outcome was much closer than I thought.
I'm just glad we have a Terran with us, because I always talk about this from the Protoss perspective in terms of like what Protoss needs to do to win, what mistakes Protoss is making. And I don't think about Terran because I don't know what I'm talking about there. But I'm glad that we had Voddy here to cast with us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Voddy.
Yeah, good games. The set was hype AF.
Hopefully have you back again. Guys, so these show matches are sponsored by a wonderful gentleman from Ukraine, Thelio, thank you so much, and Esport Fund. Rusbrain is the face of it. They have organized several more. Each one is 9 games long, and the prize will be $350. Every single map is worth an equal percentage of the final prize. We should have another one on April 17th. It'll be on Saturday at 19 Central European Time, which is 1 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully it doesn't conflict with any other events going on. Another event will be on May 1st, May 15th, May 29th, June 12th, and they should all be happening on Saturdays at the same time, 1900 Central European Time, 1 p.m. Eastern. There is one last show match that hasn't been determined yet. If you have any suggestions, you can do that. There's a thread about it on TL.net in the tournament section. You should see a thread by the name of Thelio UA Showmatch Series posted by Rusbrain. So they're accepting suggestions, and they will pick 2 players to play the final 9-game show match.
Dragon Mon Dragon.
Hey man, post it.
Wow, that would
See if
be
you can find
best.
contact details for them. Neither has any practice at all. It has to be the first game they've played in years.
I appreciate them letting us broadcast these matches and having our wonderful casters do a great job. They certainly compensate for sometimes my poor observing and lack of ability to cast. Yeah, thanks a lot for joining us, guys. You have yourself a wonderful day. And today is the BSL Finals, and it's going on right now.
Yep, straight into it. This is optimal. You timed this nicely.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, and bye bye.